What is up, Metalheads Unite?
Hell yeah.
we
What's going on, everybody?
We are live in Nashville, Tennessee at the Rock and Pod Expo.
Yes, we are.
It's going to be a long day, so if you guys dip in and out, that is totally understandable. We're going to be here until at least 5:30 or so. So,
Yep.
So it's going to be a long day and a lot of interviews. For anybody out there listening, if you want to, if you miss some of the interviews, we're actually upload those later on our Spotify and all that good stuff. So
yes.
You won't miss it. You can always go back and listen to it later. But
that's right.
We got a lot of good guests on today. We have Martin Motnick from Accept is going to be here. We have Jack Gibson from Exodus is going to be here. We had Brett Carlisle, which is got a great opportunity put in front of him to lead a Great White on tour. So yeah, we got a lot of good people to join us. Jason McMasters from Dangerous Toys.
Good to see you. See you around. Bye.
So if there's any of those you want to check out, feel free to stick with us all day. We're still going to try to put in as much of our normal content as we can throughout the process. So it's going to be kind of an odd situation because we may hear next door neighbors talking to folks as well. So
we got we're kind of sandwiched in between a couple of KISS podcast tables right now. We got KISSFAQ.com to our right, and we got the Detroit Rock City podcast to our left. And hell, just down the aisle from where we're sitting, we got KISS Talk down there. So I mean, there's plenty of podcasts for all you KISS fans out there. But there's a little bit of something for everybody in the hard rock and heavy metal genre here today at the Tennessee State Fairgrounds. We are in Expo Building 3 if anybody wants to come down, anybody in the area who's close by. And hell, we can see Ricky Rackman. Yes, that Ricky Rackman from Headbangers Ball. The one and only Ricky Rackman. We can see him standing right over there from our table. We actually got to talk to him for a little bit yesterday, so that's very cool. And so he's here. There's also up at the front of the expo hall here. There's also a comic book and collectible convention in the same hall with us. So there's definitely there's pop culture and comic books and stuff like that. So there's
a little bit of everything, man.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. It's a pretty damn cool setup.
And if you come down, Aaron Camaro from Decibel Geek is out here emceeing, and you can't miss him because he's very sparkly today. So
yeah, he's wearing a white sequin jacket and some Michael Jackson gloves. Of course, he's got two where Mike only had one. But
and his shoes are sparkly. It matches his jacket. So he's all decked out over there today.
Yeah,
so.
Aaron's overachieving today. So.
Hopefully, you don't have warrants because they can spot him right now. So.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. So yeah, you guys will have to. So yeah, like Jason said, it's gonna be a little different today. Where we are live and on location. So there's a lot of people here. Like I say, there's other podcasters here. So usually the only noise we have to worry about is a couple of dogs and maybe a granddaughter coming in every now and then. But we got
nothing we're not accustomed to. So.
Yeah, so we'll have to worry about a little bit more background noise today with all the other podcasters and the attendees here today. So, but definitely a different atmosphere than what we're used to here on the Metalheads Unite podcast. But
it's pretty cool though. It's I actually enjoy this. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All the different podcasters out here, different genres that. So like some of them are just like you said, specifically KISS podcasts. So
there's a ton of KISS podcasts.
You got some hard rock stuff. You got your metal. We're like 3 or 4 metal shows out here. We're one of 3 or 4 metal shows. So not as many metal shows, but anyway.
Yeah.
I guess we can dive into some birthdays while we're waiting on our first guest. Should be here around 10:40. So we'll get some of these birthdays out of the way, and then we'll talk him up a little bit before he gets over here. So we had birthdays from March 5th since we've been gone for 2 weeks. So I'm going back 2 weeks on us. So March 5th, we had Luca Turilli, a composer, guitarist, and keyboard player for Rhapsody. We had Arash Yokani, a DJ and snap guitarist for Symphony X. March 7th, we had Laurel Dane, Nevermore, which unfortunately passed away in 2017. We had Hugo Ferreira, your songwriter for Tantric. Thomas E. Rock, guitarist from the Fall of Troy. March 8th, we had Clive Bird, drummer for Iron Maiden from 79 to 82, and he unfortunately passed away in 2013. March 9th, we had Johnny Kelly, drummer for Typo Negative, and one of our buddies, Elias Soriano, vocalist for Nonpoint, which I just seen on Wednesday night, hell of a show, by the way. March 10th, we had Matt Barlow, vocalist for Ashes of Ours, Iced Earth, and Pyromanes. John LeCompte, guitarist for Evanescence from 2002 to 2007. Ben Burnley, guitarist, singer, songwriter for Breaking Benjamin. And Rick Rubin, producer for Columbia and Def Jam Records. March 11th, we had George Koopmans, singer, songwriter, and guitarist for Golden Earring. Of course, Vinnie Paul, drummer for Pantera. Of course, he passed away in 2018. Rami Jaffe, keyboardist for the Foo Fighters, and Adam Winkman, session tours keyboardist for Black Sabbath. March 12th, we had Steve Harris, bassist for Iron Maiden. Roy Khan, singer for Camelot from 1997 to 2011, and currently with Conception. And we had Herman Lee, guitarist for Dragon Force. March 13th, we had David Raymond, vocalist and songwriter for Disturbed. Ed Sloan, vocalist and guitarist for Crossfade. March 14th, we had Psycho Mike, vocalist for Suicidal Tendencies. All he wanted for his birthday was a Pepsi, so hopefully he get that.
Hopefully, yeah.
March 15th, we had Dee Snider, singer, songwriter, and actor, of course, Twisted Sister. Brett Michaels, singer, songwriter, guitarist for Poison. John Tardy, vocalist. I don't know if he's a vocalist or not. Anyway, with Obituary, Slowly Right. Timo Catapelto, vocalist for Stradivarius. Jordan Hastings, drummer for Alex is on Fire. Tatiana Schmelak, vocalist for Ginger. Joe Hahn, turntables for Linkin Park. March 16th, we have Michael Bruce, guitarist, keyboard player for Alice Cooper from 69 to 73. Nancy Wilson, guitarist for Heart. Jimmy DeGrasso, drummer for Metalheads, and White Lion, and about 20 other bands. So that guy's got an extensive resume.
Yeah.
Wolfgang Van Halen, vocalist and guitarist for Mammoth WBH. Brant Jork, drummer for Caius. Lena Pisa, keyboardist for Morty. March 17th, we had Scott Gorman, guitarist for Thin Lizzy. Paul Black, singer for LA Guns from 85 to 87. I'm guessing that's pre-Phil Lewis there. We had Janet Gardner, singer and guitarist for Vixen. And Roxy Patrici, drummer for Vixen. And interesting fact about those two, they're in the same band, same birthday, and born in the same year. So,
Jesus.
Yeah, so how odd is that? So, then we had Justin Hawkins, of course, singer and guitarist for The Darkness. And then, of course, today, March 18th, we had Jeff LeBar, guitarist for Cinderella. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2021. Then we had Judy Cantrell, guitarist, singer, songwriter for Alice in Chains. So happy birthday to those. And also want to go out and wish a happy birthday to our good friend Constantine Rossetti, that's in our Metalheads page. He actually is a co-worker of mine as well. So happy birthday to all those people. And hopefully
yes,
out there
happy
has
birthday to everybody.
Everybody out there had a birthday, happy birthday to you as well. So.
Hell yeah, man. It was quite, it was quite the list, but there was some, even though it was a long list, there was actually some pretty, Vinnie Paul, David Dream, Steve Harris, Dee Snider, just a ton of them. Lots of birthdays. Of course, that's to be expected when you're talking about a 3-week period. So, of course, like I was
true.
Yeah, of course, like I was telling you, when we get to the Hitting the Road segment, I've got like 6 pages of tours to announce. Of course, like I say, we're talking about 3 weeks worth of content here. So, we may do it all at once. We may break it up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll probably break it up. We can actually do those in between guests.
Yeah, we do a little bit.
We could do some stories in between as well. So. Sorry, we're still trying to figure out the radio side of things here. We're not up like they were supposed to be. So.
That's a little bit of. I mean, it's like I say, it's not the normal day here where we're at our houses. We just kind of sit down and plug in and go live. Everything just kind of goes according to plan, So, like when we have our normal guests, they're usually here with us right at the start of the show, and we just kind of kick off and go. And then as long as the interview goes as long as it needs to.
Here we're having to wait, so.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we're about, what is it? Let's see, 10:40.
Yeah,
10:40 is our first interview. So we're about 25 minutes away from our first guest. So it's not bad. So
If there's a story you want to cover or something in the meantime, we can do that. Or if you want to kick in, hit the road. I mean, it's
I figure what we can do. And this is something we normally do after we do the birthdays. We usually we kick off and we go into the current events, and this is something we'll normally do if need be, and of course, with this being like 3 weeks worth of content, we're going to backtrack a little bit on this, but we'll go ahead and we'll kind of knock this out now, get it out of the way, so the rest of the day can be upbeat and a little more pleasant. So over the past couple of 2-3 weeks, of course, we've lost a few people, so we want to make sure that we remember those folks. So first things first, I'm going to head over to blabbermouth.net, and I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, this isn't metal, but it's not. I'll give it to you. But like I say, we've talked before about bands who have paved the way. Everything's got to start somewhere. So, and this one is literally going to be the end of an era for this band because it's the last surviving original member. Well, not surviving anymore, unfortunately. But Lynyrd Skynyrd guitarist Gary Washington has died. Of course, like I say, this was from March 5th. So this is going back about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. The 71-year-old musician's passing was announced by his surviving bandmates earlier on Sunday, March 5th. They wrote on social media, quote, "It is with our deepest sympathy and sadness that we have to advise that we lost our brother, friend, family member, songwriter, and guitarist Gary Washington today. Gary is now with his Skynyrd brothers and family in heaven and playing it pretty like he always does. Please keep Dale, Mary, Annie, and the entire Washington family in your prayers and respect the family's privacy at this difficult time," end quote. The sole remaining original member of Lynyrd Skynyrd, Washington has dealt with a number of health issues in the recent years. Back in July of 2021, he underwent emergency heart surgery. 6 years earlier, he suffered a heart attack, prompting several of the band's concerts to be canceled. He also underwent quintuple bypass surgery back in 2003 due to coronary artery disease. In 2019, he had an operation to fix a leaky heart valve. 5 years ago, Washington told the Tampa Bay Times his doctors had urged him for years to quit touring. Quote, "I've had heart attacks on stage. That's why I was calling it a farewell tour. I don't know if I'll be here much longer. I don't want to just say, well, we're never going to end because I don't want to die and then end it that way, which is a heavy thing to talk about, but I have to," end quote. Washington survived the 1977 plane crash that killed singer Ronnie Van Zant and guitarist Steve Gaines. The band reunited with Ronnie's brother Johnny Van Zant as singer in 1987, has been on the road ever since. Last December, Washington told Rolling Stone magazine about Lynyrd Skynyrd's enduring relevance, quote, "It's a tribute band right now, and everybody knows it's not the original. Everybody who comes to see us is told that during the show and probably knows before they even get there, but people still come to hear it live," end quote. Washington, whose health woes had forced him to miss many of Lynyrd Skynyrd's recent shows, with Damon Johnson filling in for him, admitted he went through, quote, "a lot of different emotions," end quote, watching Lynyrd Skynyrd from the side of the stage. Quote, "The notes are the same and the songs are the same. It sounds good to me. It sounds like our band. I look out and I don't see the original band. It's strange. And then I look out and see a replacement for me, which is strange. Just hearing the songs without me playing on them live is very strange," end quote. Despite 101 strange things happening, Washington said that he was happy to know that Lynyrd Skynyrd's music is still connecting with people. Quote, "To see the younger people enjoying it makes your heart warm," end quote. Washington went on to say that his former bandmates would be equally satisfied with Lynyrd Skynyrd's continued presence on the touring circuit. Quote, "Me, Alan, and Ronnie started this band with a dream of making it big, and that dream came true. They'd love it if their music was still being played when they're gone," end quote. And like I say, Skynyrd isn't metal, all that stuff, but I mean, Skynyrd wasn't Skynyrd before they started. And then when Skinner came around, they were influences, I'm sure, for a lot of artists who went on to be heavy metal musicians. I mean, you got songs like obviously like Freebird. You know, you still got people who, you know, smart assily, you know, yell out at heavy metal concerts, you know, play Freebird, shit like that. So you got Freebird, you got Simple Man and Sweet Home Alabama, stuff like that. You know,
I mean, you got Shinedown that done a perfect fucking thing.
They really did.
Remake of Simple Man. So
yeah, so I mean, so Skinnered metal, you know, no, but their influence can't be understated. And when you got songs that are that iconic, you know, you've done something right, and they did something right. So, like I say, Skinnered may or may not go on, like Gary said, as a tribute act, which basically, like he said, that's all it was. That's all it really had become, with him being the only, you know, original member still around. But you know, there it is. So literally an end of an era now that Gary Ross has passed away.
So just I actually got the radio side straightened out, so I'm going to connect over to there. Now.
Okay.
So we're on for the next 2 hours and 40 minutes there.
Okay, the there we go.
So everybody on the radio side, sorry about that. Welcome. We are live at the Nashville Rock and Pod Expo. We have a list of interviews that we're going to do. Of course, you know, I'm only allotted so much time on the radio, so if anybody on the radio wants to check out any of the other interviews that we have throughout the day, we are going to upload those to Spotify here in the next week or two. So just kind of be patient, and if you're not following us over there, you just follow us over there. You'll get the notification when they upload there. So yeah, we got a pretty extensive list. You know, we're starting out. Yeah, we're starting out with Anthony Fox from Beautiful Creatures. Of course, he's also 25 years in the music business, and he's got his own label and production company. So he does a lot of mixing and stuff for other bands. I mean, he's working with Ace Frehley out of Levis Way, Aerosmith, Bad Company, Maintango, Black Veil Brides, Bullet Boys, Daltrey Knockin', Eric Martin, Blossom and Jetson, Ray White, Jason Bonham, Jason Newsted, Jeff Scott Sato, LA Guns, Kuna Coil. He did a lot of stuff for Guitar Hero with Metallica, Winger. Does stuff with Vince Neil, Ted Nugent, Mike Mine, Sick Puppy, Shinedown, Suicide Silence. I mean, this guy's got a pretty extensive resume. So
yeah.
So I mean, he's definitely no stranger to both sides of the field. So he does a lot of stuff producing behind the scenes and also guitars for Beautiful Creatures. So,
yeah.
So looking forward. He should be along here in probably 15 minutes or so. So
15 minutes.
So
15.
We'll try to continue with news type stuff until then. I know one of the things that I've seen but one of the things that I caught my eye was Drowning Pool. They've undergone a number of scene changes after the death of their original frontman Dave Williams, but one of their former frontman is now returning, Ryan McCombs, who has also been with Soil, which I love that band as well. But previously played with the band over the course of 2 studio albums and a live album, and now he's returning to the group. He's replacing Jason Marino, who had fronted the band after McCombs' initial departure since 2012. Then, according to Metalheads, the singer will play his first shows back with the band. Actually, he played his first show last night in Destin, Florida. So he's at the Throwdown at the Campground Festival tonight from that park. So he's back with Drowning Pool. It's pretty cool to see him back. He did say that he told Metalheads that when I stepped away from the band back in 2004, I got him back into the mix because it was with Drowning Pool members CJ, Steven, and Mike, and because it was also a way for me to be a part of keeping the music Dave Williams alive. So that's pretty important to him. So just being back in the same room together after so many years, gearing up for these shows, was a quick reminder as to why I consider them to be my best friends in the business back in the day. As everyone living life can attest to, sometimes our days get messy, but in the words of one Dave Williams, everything happens for a reason. You just don't know. Some of the greatest moments of my career came as a member of Drowning Pool, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity to perform with them again. He also did say that he said that he's not. He's still going to be with Soil, so he's kind of doing double duty, I guess, between Drowning Pool and Soil. So it's kind of cool that they've gotten him back. 'Cause I actually think that was like some of their better years when Ryan McCombs was actually from them. So
yeah. So how many singers have they had now? I mean, I know he's back in the band, but what 3?
So no, so I can't remember
4.
I can't remember the second guy, but he was only on the one album, and then Ryan came in, and then Jason came in, and then Ryan's back. So yeah,
So technically 4.
So technically 4. Yeah.
4, yeah. Yeah, and of
That,
course.
that I know of. I mean, they may have.
My wife and I.
They may have had some that I'm not aware of.
Oh yeah, it was definitely, and obviously when Dave Williams passed away, obviously that was goes without saying that was an unplanned lineup change.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, of course.
Yeah, like you said, he got through the one album and the one tour and then died. So he kind of. I mean, I think Drowning Pool was onto pretty much a big, being a big band at that point because with Dave frontman. So I think that kind of may have halted a lot of their success too, because a lot of people were comparing every singer afterward to Dave. So
right. Well, I mean, I guess that kind of happens a lot, whether it's planned or not. Everyone's kind of compared to the original more or less. So, whether that's fair or not, I mean, I guess it's just going to happen, because we got so we've got, we have Martin Motnick from Accept coming up, and of course, we all know who. Well, we should all know who the original singer of Accept was. Talking about Udo Dirkschneider, probably one of the top 10, 15, maybe most iconic voices in metal. Probably wherever you want to put them on that list. Yeah, we don't need you yelling all the way down the hall there, buddy. So I mean, that's one of the things. So yeah, but anyone who was going to follow Udo Dirkschneider and Accept was going to be like, well, how does he sound in relation to Udo? And that's not really fair,
right.
But it is what it is. It is what it is.
I got this other one I can go over real quick because I actually shared that onto the Facebook page. But as reported by 7 News Miami, Def Leppard drummer Rick Allen was assaulted on Monday night, March 13th, outside of a Four Seasons hotel in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. One night earlier, Allen had performed with Def Leppard at Hard Rock Live in Hollywood, Florida. The co-headlining gig with Motley Crue as the two bands continue their global tour together. It said that Allen was violently attacked by a 19-year-old Max Edward Hartley, an Ohio native who was visiting Florida while outside smoking a cigarette in the hotel's valet area. Per 7 News Miami, police indicate that Hartley was positioned behind a pillar before running full speed toward the 59-year-old drummer and knocking him down. Police report allegedly states Allen hit his head on the ground, causing injury. A woman who was near the scene of the incident is said to have rushed to aid Allen, which then provoked Hartley to unleash another attack. He supposedly struck her while on the ground, and later, after the woman attempted to seek refuge in the hotel's interior, dragged her out of the lobby and back onto the sidewalk before fleeing the scene. Hartley was later apprehended by another hotel in the area where he was smashing car windows. A 7 News Miami photographer was on the scene and asked Hartley if he's a Def Leppard fan, which went without a reply. Hartley is now being charged with 2 counts of battery, 4 counts of criminal mischief, and abusing an elderly or disabled adult, and it is said that Allen is seeking prosecution. So there's Jesus Christ. I can't believe the nerve of some fucking people.
Yeah, I mean, I hate that. I really do. I'm glad Rick's okay, and I'm glad they caught the guy. I really am. Even if Rick wouldn't have, even if nothing would have happened to Rick in that attack, I still would have been happy to hear that the guy got caught. People just. It's people that do this shit. I can't stand that, man. Can't stand it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like I said, he's
And how old's Rick Allen? 59.
59. Yeah,
59?
and plus he's got one arm. Like really, dude. Like,
I know. I feel bad because at the same time, what happened to Rick sucks, you know, and of course it sucks that if it would have happened to anybody, but the fact that Rick has got one arm and stuff like that, I mean,
yeah.
you know,
So
I mean, I want to make a joke, but I don't know if I don't know if I should.
I was actually saying it'd been funnier if Rick beat his ass, because then you can say, "Oh, Rick beat him with one hand tied behind his back."
I actually kind of wish that would have happened. That would have been perfect. You know, it would have been perfect. You know, the guy Rick Allen beats that dude's ass, and the guy still gets arrested.
Right, insult to injury.
It's insult to injury. But then he goes to court, and then the guy goes to court and he pleads innocent, and he said it wasn't me, it was the one-armed man.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was worse than mine, man. God. Actually, I see Anthony making his way around.
Rick, we love you, buddy. We really do. But I mean, we do. We're
hell of a drummer, man. Especially with
the thing is, I mean, to be able to reinvent yourself and to be able to come back and do what you're doing as a one-armed drummer, I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, it's amazing. I still think it's crazy that, and I don't know if a lot of people know this. I'm sure a lot of people do, but I don't know if a lot of people remember this, that they actually did reattach his arm.
Yeah, they tried to.
Yeah, they reattached his arm, but his body wouldn't. Like his body rejected it when they put it back on. So they did try to save his arm, and they weren't able to. So I don't know if a lot of people know that. I didn't know it for the longest time, to be honest with you. I didn't know that for the longest time. I thought it was just like he was in an accident, he lost his arm, and then that was it. But yeah, they went through and they reattached it, and it just didn't take. Which is kind of messed up. Your body wouldn't like take your own arm back, you know? So it's kind of messed up, really, when you think about it. But you know, but hey.
I guess I'm with you guys next. How you doing? I'm Bob.
Nice
Hey, Anthony.
So somebody give me a one sheet. If you could just briefly, this will give you a little insight. It starts from the 80s all the way to now.
Nice.
Fortunately, I didn't paragraph it out, but there's
you're good, man.
No, you're fine.
There's a lot of stuff you could ask me in that.
Cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I worked with like 500 artists. I mean, or not 500 releases.
I just got a short list here, so it's like
check that out really quick, and then you'll know. You'll say, hey, how about this and what about that?
Yeah, bear with us here for just a second there, folks. Our first guest is in the area.
Yep, so he dropping off a little helpful packet here, so. Yes. Yeah, and, you know, Anthony's a multi-instrumentalist too, so that's always helpful for what he does. So.
He's definitely keeping busy. He's definitely keeping busy.
Definitely, like I said, a lot of these guys that we're talking to today definitely have no downtime. I don't see how they have any downtime, especially.
No, I know.
Guys like Jason McMaster. It's going to be easier to ask him what he doesn't do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the funny thing is, he just stopped by the table and handed us like this little bio thing, this kind of little rundown, and he's even like he kind of even seems like he's just raring and ready to go right now.
Was there more information in there?
What's up?
Was there more information that you see that wasn't on the
man? That's
it's got a lot more.
plenty.
The Guitar Hero was one of the things that really caught my interest. So that's pretty cool, man.
Maybe talk about that, you know?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I worked with Jason Newsted from Metallica. I worked on, I worked with a lot of people.
Yeah. That's what I hate about I got you. We got like two other guys.
There's always that.
Such extensive resume that in 15 minutes ain't gonna do you much justice.
So just pick a subject, I guess. You know, like you want to talk about Guitar Hero, we'll talk about Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
You know, I worked on Metallica. I did all the Metallica songs. I had all the masters from back in the day. The actual like, the 16-track like tape.
Right.
They transferred to Pro Tools. And then from that gig, Jason Newsted had heard that and wanted me to work on his solo record.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, so it's something to talk about, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we're big Metallica fans, so we can always talk about Metallica.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't get chance. I didn't meet Metallica. Just to let you know, they were in San Francisco. I was in Los Angeles. But we sent them tracks to listen to, and they gave us the notes. And we went back and forth.
Of course, the Beautiful Creatures thing.
Yeah, Beautiful Creatures.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's like
that band.
who's been in that. You know, who's been in that band.
Yeah, it was in that band. We're still right now. It's in hiatus, but you know, if there was a show or something, we do it. You know. So.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, and then you got DJ Ashford from that band. He played, you know, with Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses. Yep. Guns N' Roses. Yep.
You got Glenn Sobel from Alice Cooper. You know, he's in Alice Cooper now, and it's a full circle because I played in Alice Cooper in the 80s.
Yep.
In '89. Yeah, I was the drummer for the Poison video, which has 267 million views.
Yeah.
Because I just looked at it today, just to reference back there.
Oh, and that's I mean,
267 million views.
Yeah.
Is that the rated R version or the regular one?
Yeah, you're right.
I like the rated R one better. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I have a copy of the rated R one. It was. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. I guess they wouldn't release it. Yeah, they wouldn't release it on MTV, but I had a copy of it. So for all these years.
I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure Ricky would have played it on Headbangers Ball at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, so
I should be up 2 in the morning anyway, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean.
But yeah, that's. If there's anything else, is there any questions you guys have that you want to know and you kind of set up for the interview? Like you can just ask me now and then we'll set it up.
But yeah, I was just going to talk about kind of the Beautiful Creatures thing and then the Guitar Hero stuff. So
it's cool, yeah.
I think the Guitar Hero stuff's pretty good.
The Guitar Hero is really cool because so I had all the masters and I had to go through when I mixed the songs. They gave me all the solos. They gave me outtakes of vocals that they didn't use in the studio, like say for Aerosmith. I did 34 songs for Aerosmith.
Right. And
I have multiple takes of different lyrics. Isn't that crazy for like Ragdoll? Like, but in the studio they muted back in the day you'd like say okay channel like channel 3. Okay, now kick to channel 4, back to channel 3. Like, because there was like here's the right lyrics and then these are wrong lyrics, but here's the right lyrics. So I went from here down to here, back to there, and they would punch the buttons and figure by line of what he was going to sing. So I have like lyrics that no one's ever even heard.
Oh,
I put that out.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like, and I have guitar takes. I have like all the solos. Like they would do like 3 guitar solos. The same. I don't know if you guys done recording, but they have comp it. You know what I mean? Like it'd be like okay, so the first part of the solo is this track. The second part is this track.
Right.
And the third one's this one. Back to that one. You know, but they're solos through all of them.
So they just had you like recording solo. You were going.
What it was is they call it bake the tape. So what it is what you do is they have a reel, like a 2-inch reel of tape, and they transfer that into Pro Tools. They go here's your reel of tape. Now mix it like how the album sounded, you know. So you got to. They gave me all the different screenshots of like their settings of like what reverbs they used, you know, what delays they used, what was on what tracks, you know, like you got the drums. I had the Bob Rock samples, you know, like that's pretty cool for the Black Album. So the songs that fortunately for you guys, the songs that I got a chance to mix it from Kill 'Em all the way till what was it in 2000s? I don't even Saint something.
Saint
Anger. Yeah. So I mixed all their hits. So then I had a chance to hear all the individual tracks of the hits. Like I did Whiplash, I did Seek and Destroy. What are the biggest ones out the first album? Because I did them. You know, like I did 3 of them. So there's Seek and Destroy, Whiplash, and something else that was really big.
4 Horsemen, Jump in the Fire.
Yeah. Okay, so I did those 3 songs, and then I did Fight Fire with Fire.
Yeah.
I did For Whom the Bells Toll. I mixed Masters of Puppets. I mixed one. I mixed Sad But True.
That's crazy.
What are the big ones on the Black Album?
Enter Sandman, The Unforgiven, Nothing Else Matters.
The ballads.
Nothing Else Matters and The
Nothing Else
Unforgiven.
Matters and some other one too.
The Unforgiven?
Unforgiven, yeah. There's so many. I've worked on over 500 releases. It's hard for me to remember.
No, yeah, well, yeah, I don't
feel like
blame
a
you
school
there.
teacher
Yeah, I
trying to
definitely
remember
don't
all the different. and then for Aerosmith, I did Ragdoll. I did Living on the Edge. I did Lord of the Thighs. I mean, all the masters. I could single out his vocal and just listen to his vocal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dry vocal. And you got to put the reverb on it to make it sound like it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but you're good to start if you would like to.
So just
Yeah, it
give me a
is,
little
yeah.
heads up so you know.
All right, everybody. If you guys were listening there, we were having a little bit of pre-interview chatter with Anthony Fox. He's going to be joining us here shortly. He's here at the table with us. He will be joining us shortly. He is our first interview of the day. Anthony Fox of Ace Frehley, Adelita's Way, Adler's Appetite, Aerosmith, Bad Company, Bang Tango. Beautiful Creatures currently. He was telling us they are currently on hiatus. But Black Veil Brides, Buck Cherry, Bullet Boys, Daughtry, Document. I mean, some of the...
It's not about me.
Hey, what the fucking range world going on here, man?
So what do we got going on? Is that other computer not working?
It froze up. So I didn't even notice it until just now.
Because we had the feed.
Would this be the microphone though, or this microphone right here?
Oh no, that'll be
Is it really that bad? I mean, can you just run a cable?
Why do I not have that camera?
It froze up. I'll fix it in a minute.
Oh, it froze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, that's this.
Yeah, this one's working.
This whole thing is not.
It froze up. Yeah. So
Okay,
you can
so
use
we're
my
going.
stuff. So.
All right, so here, right there. Yeah.
Or if you don't want to use headphones, you're fine either way. So. Well, I mean, we're right here, so.
I mean,
Technical difficulties on a live
Sorry.
feed, folks.
That was my fault. I should have noticed it was froze up. So.
okay, yeah, we don't need headphones.
Yes.
I hear you.
Well, go ahead, man.
So do you have a microphone? You want to share this one, or?
You can just share that one. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, I can hear you both in that one. So yeah, you guys are fine.
go like this.
It's pretty.
So,
Go ahead, man.
whenever,
Yeah, so we're here with Anthony Fox. Got a extensive resume, so unfortunately, like I told him, we only have 15 minutes, so it's not really going to scrape any top of the barrel for what he's done. So I know he said he's worked with Metallica a lot back in the early era of Metallica up to the 2000s. So. And then, of
yeah,
course,
basically that was for the Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
So
Guitar Hero.
I didn't actually work on their albums. I was hired by Activision to do the Guitar Hero featuring
Gotcha, okay.
Metallica.
Which was crazy because I didn't realize that they had 21 Metallica songs on the Guitar Hero. So.
Yeah, and it was very fortunate to get that job working on all the hits and rare tracks, and being a fan, you know, of Metallica from the early days, and getting a chance to work on their individual tracks, solo vocals, solo guitar solos, and bass and drums. It was really an amazing experience.
I could like just sitting here with people that have that in their resumes. It's kind of amazing to us. When we started this thing, we never thought we'd be talking about, you know, anybody in the bands, much less somebody that's got all that 20 plus year resume. So we really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. I know another thing that you were mentioning earlier was you worked on the Alice Cooper video Poison, which you know mentioned that it's got 267 million views.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty extensive view list there.
Yes, I auditioned drums and got the part. I remember the manager or assistant calling me and mentioning that that I reminded Alice of his previous drummer, and he said that's the guy. I want to use him for the video, and it was a big success. So it really worked out great for me. Anyway, opened a lot of doors.
Yeah. So you play drums there, and I know you do rhythm guitars for Beautiful Creatures. Is there any other instruments that you do other than those two?
I play some bass, some keyboards.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, right. Like you run your own like mixing company or something. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
so I have I do mainly mixing and mastering for artists. I've worked on over 500 releases, artist releases, which are like singles and EPs, and with 500 different releases for different artists, and the list is way too long to mention. But we do have some different artists that worked with. What do we have on the list?
Oh yeah,
We got
Aerosmith, Ace Frehley, Evelyn's Wade, Hank Tango, Black Belt Rise,
Buck Cherry,
Bullet Boys,
Foreigner,
Rocket,
Queensryche, Vince Neil.
I mean, like I said, that list is very, very long. I actually narrowed it down because it probably would have took me 6 sheets of paper to put it all on there.
It's hard to remember all the different.
And it says you also did some Winger stuff for Guitar Hero as well.
Yeah, we did Winger. Yeah, it was really great.
You said you got to master Newstead's.
Yeah, so I recorded, mixed, and mastered Jason Newsted's metal EP, and did some work on his heavy metal CD too.
So, like when he broke out and did like the Newstead thing on his own, I wish he would have kept that up, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But yeah, so what is like some of the most recent stuff you've done?
Okay, so the most recent things are I just finished doing the finalizing on the mixes with Marty Fredrickson for the new Buck Cherry release that's coming out this year. Did the mastering on that as well, and that's their 10th release. And I'm currently working on a 40-year anniversary release for Night Rangers.
Oh,
it's
nice.
a live DVD featuring a symphony orchestra.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's a live DVD, and they kind of, blended the hard rock guitars with the symphony. Kind of, you've heard that with Metallica and different, some different bands have done the same. But it's going to be amazing.
So I'm a big, we grew up on Night Ranger and stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like, that's one of the things we talk about here is like, a lot of times we're going to talk about something that's metal, but a lot of these bands led up to metal. So
Right. Yeah. I mean,
everybody came from something. Blues led to rock led to metal. So
yeah. Well, I mean, we were just talking about how Gary Rossington had just passed away a couple weeks ago. Skinner, by themselves, you wouldn't necessarily classify them as metal. They're a southern rock band, but I mean, with the iconic tracks that they came out with, they built a legacy that a lot of heavy metal bands kind of latched onto and gained their influence from. So, everything's got to start somewhere. So,
So what is you said Beautiful Creatures is kind of on the hiatus at the moment, or
That's correct.
yeah, you said y'all would be if y'all were
Yeah, I mean, if we had the right opportunity, I'm sure we could get the band to play.
talk to some of the specialists, man, get Beautiful Creatures on there.
Yeah, it would be great. Just it'd be awesome.
So what's kind of coming up for you as far as band wise, live dates, anything like that coming up?
So I have my own solo project. It's called Cage and Fox. It's like a hard rock version of country. It's like a cross. It's kind of like a Brantley Gilbert. It's a little heavier. I have that. I just finished mixing and mastering, as well as playing drums, 10 songs, and the video single for a band called Damn the Planet. And the song, you could see it on YouTube. It's called By the Way by Damn the Planet. and it's a great song. I've worked with another band mixing and mastering and playing drums for the video singles, 2 singles. A band called Lola Vane, which is a cool hard rock, modern 80s type of hard rock. What else am I doing? I mean, I have a bunch of different projects going on, and I have future projects coming up too. So
you've been in all these bands and done all this stuff. So one of the things we always like to do on the show is we usually try to get a road story out of our guests. Is there any kind of like crazy or road story or something kind of like you remember and it kind of sticks with you through all these years? Or?
Man,
Probably too many, right?
I mean, here's one story which is really pretty cool. Is in 2007 we were asked to do. I was with a band called Generation Beautiful, and we were asked to do a military tour, and it was like during
the war,
pretty much. It was active. It was less active. It wasn't during the high point, but that was really a great experience. Just being in Iraq and being in Afghanistan and getting a chance to be there where the troops are actually.
Right. They usually don't get a lot of live stuff. Over there when they're there, it's usually via screen or something.
Yeah, so that was a pretty amazing experience. And then we've toured Beautiful Creatures. We've done Europe and like Italy and Spain and Switzerland and we played in the UK. But that was a great experience too. I mean, there's no real one road story I can really think of because it's just been an awesome experience.
I say, I mean, it's not necessarily, like we always ask. Sometimes we'll get a crazy story, and sometimes we just get all the good stories. Like what you said, it's a good experience to go play for troops and stuff like that.
There's been a lot of
people can't say that.
Yeah, but my musical career has been very adventurous and really amazing. From the beginning, from the late '80s with Alice Cooper all the way till now, working with all the bands that I've worked with, and it's been very fortunate. I've been very fortunate to still make a living in music on this day.
So what is there like a band that you work with, like band that you still work with now? Or is it changed?
Well, I mean, as in like mixing or drumming or
anything. So you have a connection with it, you still be working with that?
Well, Night Ranger. Okay. I started with Night Ranger in 2009. Actually, I started working with Jack Blades on the Vince Neil solo CD in 2009. We did Tattoos and Tequila and various songs on that album. And then, since then, we developed a friendship and worked with them over the years. And now we're in 2023 and still going.
So I say they're 40 years.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's so much here to talk about. I hate that. Maybe it's 15 minutes. We could probably go into this stuff for hours. We got a pretty extensive resume. So. It says here you're doing some Metal Warrior.
Yep. So I'm working on the Kerry Kelly project right now. Metal Warrior. It's theatrical heavy metal. Very modern sounding. Super cool. You guys gotta check it out when it comes out. Metal Warrior.
We created this thing instead of we created this because we were listening to stuff like, oh, who is this? And we found out this some band that we listened to has been out for like 20 years. We never heard of them. So we felt like that we wanted to create a platform to help all these younger bands to get their name out there. And we're not having years now. Who was that? So we've been fortunate to talk to a lot of bands all over the world.
Isn't it really? I think
it's cool that you sit and talk with somebody with your experience and know that you're working with young bands too. So it's kind of like a cool cool thing to see. You're going to see a lot of a lot of older bands. You know, have a lot of younger bands and stuff like that. It's kind of like the thing. So that we're in city tracks. People like that kind of talk to certain people. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah, it's really cool. The damn planet, that was a big thing to talk about.
Yeah, I'd like to plug the my website before we end this.
Oh, absolutely.
1 minute left, I guess.
Yeah.
So basically, you could reach out to me if you need some mixing, mastering, or any kind of recording or editing or whatever. Any music production. It's www.anthonyfox.com, and that is Anthony Fox, F-O-C-X is the last name. F is in Frank, O is in Oscar, C is in Charles, X is X-ray. AnthonyFox.com, and just hit me up, and if you need something, and I would love to, take a listen and see what's out there.
Definitely got a ear for to listen to. From Anthony here, he's like I said, he definitely got the resume. Definitely seems like he knows what he's looking for. And probably could help you out, make a hit.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
We appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, thank you for your time, you guys.
Thank you, man. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Make it around. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Anthony. It was great to meet you, man. Appreciate you. Have a great day.
We were in Memphis by the time we got off.
Anthony Fox, everybody. Our first interview of the day.
That guy, man, he has. Like, who hasn't he worked with? Like, really? I think that would be an easier question. Like, who hasn't he worked with?
Pretty much, yeah. It really kind of is. And that's the funny thing is, I mean, a lot of the guests we're gonna have today. Excuse me. They've of course, we don't really want to give away too much,
Right.
but we have quite a few guests today who kind of have resumes just like that. Really, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna have rundowns like this.
Right.
I mean, good Lord.
Well, I said I'm actually glad he gave me that because it's got a lot of the newer bands he's working with that we can actually check out and plug. So,
well, yeah, that's awesome.
And actually, I'd love to get maybe them on the show and talk to them and see what their experience was working with them. So.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this one working over here. Again.
So we didn't know that computer had
No,
froze?
I just had to look over and see it frozen. Shit.
Oh no. Okay.
So hopefully we can get it back up and running. I don't want to. If I have to, I'll swap and just work off of that one because they don't need to see me. So.
Well, I went ahead and switched over to the solo layout anyway. So it was just you and Anthony on the screen there for a little bit. Nobody really needed to see me kind of just looking off to one side for the whole time. So I just went ahead and changed the camera view. Now I mean we got Anthony Fox. He of many projects. A whole plethora of projects. I mean, he's had so much going on. He's got so much going on right now. It's kind of crazy, actually, the amount of stuff that he's got going on. Like Jason said, it's hard to believe that he's got time to eat and sleep and do everything else. But even he was having a hard time keeping everything together. But I mean, when you got that many irons in the fire and that many projects going on, it's not too hard to understand why he would have a hard time remembering everything going on. Well, there we go. We got the feed back up. Yeah, it is lagging a little bit, but we'll kind of. I can see your elbow in it, so we'll kind of see if. I am gonna mute that mic though for right now, so we don't. So we don't.
What time? 11:40. Martin will be over here. So Martin Montnick is our next guest at 11:40.
Yeah. So we got 40. Yeah, so we got 42 minutes until, Martin Montnick of Accept comes by, so we'll be looking forward to talking to him. See what Accept is working on. So see if they got some irons in the fire, see if they're making new music. So of course Too Mean to Die came out in 2021, so they're probably still doing a little bit of touring on that album, so got some stuff going on the main stage over here. Don't know who's over there.
Yeah, we're starting that up. So that's the big wigs over there. Man.
I can't tell who it is from
I
down here.
I only have our schedule, so I have no idea. They have a
Right.
easel over there. I see Aaron Camaro glittering from here somewhere.
Yeah. If the light hits his back just right, we're gonna go blind. So.
Yeah, right. These people are making Ric Flair jealous right now with all the glitters.
He's styling and profiling, that's for sure.
So I guess we can go back into a little bit of news stories. If you got anything over there, I'm still looking at your cell there. Touch on.
Well, I mean, I've got another one pulled up right here, real quick, that we can talk about. So, staying over at blabbermouth.net. This one was from March 10th, so about 8 days ago. Longtime artillery drummer Joshua Madsen, who played on the band's last 4 albums, has died at the age of 45. According to SN.dk, Madsen passed away after being hit by a bus on a dark country road between Copenhagen and Roskilde, Denmark. Joshua, who had recently exited artillery, had rehearsed with his new band on Wednesday night, March 8th, and was walking from Høje Tarstrup Station and home to Vridslommegel. I hope I said that right, where he and his family lived when he was hit by a moving bus at around 9:47 p.m. There were reportedly no streetlights on Snubbekorsvej, which is a country road where the speed limit is 80 kilometers per hour. Since there was no sidewalk either, any pedestrians must walk on a ditch edge along the road. Artillery commented on the news via the band's Facebook page, writing, quote, Dear friends, fans, and family, today we awoke to the tragic news of the passing of our dear friend and bandmate, Joshua. Dear Joshua, for the last 10 years, you have been a part of our extended family. We have played, fought, laughed, and cried together and looked to the future alongside appreciating our now. I'm not sure what that means. It's kind of strange. You had a kind spirit and big heart. Our thoughts and prayers are with your son and family. We wish you peace and joy on your journey. Take care, friend, and rock on wherever you are, end quote. Joshua was a single father to his teenage son, Alexander. Quote, he was a fantastic single father to his son. They loved each other and were inseparable, said Joshua's mother, Joan Ljunggren. It is a huge loss for his son, Alexander, and us as immediate family, end quote. So, it's always sad to like report these stories like this of somebody passing away. It never really matters how old they are. Gary Rossington was 71. But for some reason, there's like a little bit of a different feel to it when somebody passes away of something, like when they're sick or something.
Right.
But then when in the case of Joshua here, he was hit by a bus. It was an accident, something that kind of came out of nowhere. 45 years old, single dad, and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's got a little bit of a different feel to it when something like that happens. Yeah. 45 years old, for all of, and I mean, we don't know what his health was like, but I mean, you figure 45 years old, that's more or less how old you and I are,
Right.
We're in good health and all that stuff, but then, you're walking home one night and you get hit by a bus, so never not unfortunate, but then when when you're talking about someone who ends up being struck by a bus, I mean, really really hate it. It sucks all around. So, but yeah, definitely condolences to his son Alexander. You know, it really sucks. It really does.
Sorry, I'm still getting gifts over here. Like handed to me.
Yeah, no,
All right,
people
so-
are coming by and handing us
Yeah, we've
flyers
had-
and
Which
taking
is
some
cool,
of our
'cause-
stickers and stuff.
We actually have some bands that have handed us stuff, which is cool because I mean it's kind of like what we're doing. And, I think the band that handed us some stuff is kind of new. So.
Yeah. Before we went on air, I mean, we had a band come by and they gave us a swag bag just out of nowhere. So that was cool of them to do that. So it's very cool.
This one's over from Metalheads. This one's kind of a weird story, so it's weird. It's no secret that earning a sustainable income as a touring musician has become increasingly challenging in recent years, with escalating fuel prices, rising rates for work permits and visas, inflation, currency devaluation, and additional bureaucratic admin costs squeezing profits to a point where artists have openly admitted that they simply can no longer afford to take their music worldwide. So in October, the entertainment website Vulture bluntly stated the live music industry is broken, citing the cancellation of tours by Little Sims, Sent to Go, The Animal Collective, Arlo Parks, and more as evidence of the recent online discourse about rising merch costs and the ethics of venues taking substantial cuts from merch sales, which we kind of said our piece about that shit, are further indications that these are difficult times for the majority of touring artists. In such a climate, bands are forced to consider alternative revenue streams for LA industrial rockers' health. That means that the introduction of branded butt plugs,
I saw that earlier this week.
which will be sold at the merch table on their upcoming Dark Territory tour in the U.S. with Author and Punisher. The band flagged up this novel merch line in social media posts, but have yet to reveal the cost of their new range. Fan comments beneath the post are eye-opening, if that's the appropriate term. I don't know which eye would be opening, but there's actually pictures of it on here.
Here, yeah, I was about to say I am gonna pull up the pictures and I'll show them to everybody because I saw that. Oh man.
Maybe that'll keep them from getting screwed.
I don't know. I mean, these bands have been getting reamed by these. So there you go. I mean, right there.
It's a mess, dude. Like I said, we've said our piece on the matter. Of course, we don't agree with the work. Venues taking merch cuts. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, it's just gotten out of hand. I mean, it really has. But like you say, we've talked about this. We've talked about it plenty. And the good thing is artists are starting to stand up against it.
Right.
We've seen some artists who are like, yeah, we're not selling anything at the show. And it sucks for them. We hate that for them because even though they do sell merch at the show, and even though they're getting a hell of a lot more money taken from them than they should, because they really shouldn't be having any of their money taken from them for the merch that they're, designing, printing, shipping, hauling, displaying, selling, all this other stuff, and then put it in reverse and loading it back up and everything else and taking it to the next show. So these bands shouldn't have to be worrying. These bands shouldn't have to be worrying about this at all. But what sucks is they feel like it's in their best interest not to sell it at all. So in order to avoid losing money at all, they're just not selling any at all, which means they're making zero money. So that really sucks. But I don't blame them. I really don't. I don't blame them at all.
I mean, you guys. I think it's it's kind of a funny thing to talk about bands selling butt plugs, but I think it's a statement they're trying to make as well. So they're trying to get fucked over their products. It's like,
yeah. So I mean, in the short term, if they're gonna make that statement, maybe in the long term it'll pay off. Because I mean, it's just stupid and getting out of hand. the amount of money these venues are taking from these artists. It's not fair.
No, it's not. I was just gonna say it had a bunch of short curls for minutes. I guess it kind of does, but
All right, I'm going to stay at Blabbermouth for this last one. I think this may be the last passing we have to report on from the past 3 weeks, if I remember correctly. So staying over at Blabbermouth, Dark Angel guitarist Jim Durkin has died at the age of 58. This story was from March 10th, so the same day as the one about Joshua Madsen. Jim's passing was confirmed by his wife Annie on his Facebook page earlier today, Friday, March 10th. She wrote, quote, "With a broken and heavy heart, I want to share that the love of my life, my best friend and husband Jimmy, passed away Wednesday morning. He was not alone, as I was with him along with a few close friends until the end. He will be truly missed, and no one can ever replace the love I have for him. May he rest in peace. My ever thine, ever mine, ever ours, my immortal beloved, I will see you again," end quote. A short time later, Dark Angel also issued a statement on Durkin's passing, writing, quote, "We in the Dark Angel family are deeply saddened and crushed today with the news of our brother and founder Jimmy Durkin passing away Wednesday morning. We would like to thank his fans for their continuous loyalty and support. We will come out with a full statement very soon. We ask that you please respect the family's privacy while we mourn the loss of this great man," end quote. An original member of Dark Angel, Durkin played on the band's first 3 albums, 1985's We Have Arrived, 1986's Darkness Descends, and 1989's Leave Scars, before departing the group in 1989. He was part of Dark Angel's lineup when the band reformed in 2013 and had been playing with them ever since. Durkin had been sitting out some of Dark Angel's recent gigs. He was replaced at the shows by drummer Gene Hoglan's wife, Laura Christine. Dark Angel, which has been touring intermittently since reforming a decade ago, is scheduled to perform its legendary album Darkness Descends in its entirety at 3 special concerts next month at the Terragram Ballroom in Los Angeles, California. For much of the last few years, Durkin and his bandmates had been working on material for a new studio album. Dark Angel's first CD since 1991's Time Does Not Heal was supposed to feature the lineup that has performed sporadic live shows since reuniting in 2013. Hoagland, Durkin, Eric Meyer on guitar, Ron Reinhardt on vocals, and Michael Gonzalez on bass. In February 2022, Hoagland said during a Twitch live stream from his home that he and his Dark Angel bandmates were, quote, "in the process," end quote, of making a new album. Quote, I have a lot of work ahead of me, so does Jim Durkin, Gene said. He's been sending over songs, riffs, stuff like that, which has been super exciting. We're all of the same mindset of making just the most absolutely kick-ass Dark Angel record we can, end quote. Dark Angel released 2 albums with Don Doty on vocals, the aforementioned We Have Arrived and Darkness Descends, before he exited the group and was replaced by Reinhardt after a brief stint with Jim Drabos in 1987. The band issued 2 more studio LPs, Leave Scars and Time Does Not Heal, before calling it quits in 1992. So, doesn't really say what the cause of death was. I mean, if we find out, we'll kind of pass that along to you guys. But, you know, gone, but will never be forgotten at the age of 58.
all right, I got one over here from stay with Metalheads here. Metallica has sold over 125 million albums worldwide, 67 million of those in the U.S. alone. And although the San Francisco band haven't released a new album since 2016's Artwork Self-Destruct, but are about to release a new album in April. So
next month.
I don't know why they didn't mention. They don't even mention that. Like, really?
Right, I know.
In recent years, the group's been reissuing multi-disc deluxe box sets of their esteemed back catalog. Now, to keep up with demand, the group have acquired a majority stake in Furnace Record Pressing, a record pressing plant in Alexandria, Virginia, to ensure that their fans have continued access to the quality of records in the future. Since 2016, the quartet have released expansive box sets of Master of Puppets and Justice for All and Metallica, aka the Black Album. And in 2022, the group pressed more than 902,500 pieces of vinyl for more than 620,000 packages, according to their management company, Q Prime. Furnace has pressed vinyl records for the band for a decade, and purchasing the plant makes business sense for the band, who own the rights to all their own albums anyway. So we couldn't be more happy to take partnership with Furnace to the next level, says Lawrence Ulrich. Their indie spirit and the passion they have for their craft, culturally and their kindred souls. Furnace has been great to Metallica, and more importantly to our fans. Frontman James Hetfield added, this deepened relationships between Metallica and Furnace ensures that the fans of vinyl everywhere, particularly our 5th members, will have continued access to high-quality records in the future. they have the same indie spirit we have. Mark Ryder, who has some recordings, Metallica's own record label, does Billboard, and they like doing things the right way, which is also Metallica way. So it's pretty cool. They actually. Partners still have the mindset to do that, So.
Yeah, I thought you had frozen for a second there.
Nope, I was just done.
Yeah. For a second there, I thought I heard your feed go out in my headphones. There, I was like, oh shit, what happened?
I have a sticker. Thank you.
So on the ground in there,
You gotta have stickers.
Yeah.
Stickers are great.
He doesn't want signatures. He just wants stickers. I got your
All right, well here's one staying over at Blabbermouth. British heavy metal legend Saxon have canceled the remaining 4 shows of their March 2023 European tour after vocalist Biff Bifford was diagnosed with COVID-19. Earlier today, being yesterday, March 17th, Saxon released the following statement via social media, quote, "We are very sorry, but due to Biff Bifford catching COVID whilst on tour, the remaining European dates in Dresden, Linz, and Ulm are canceled, and we are looking to reschedule them as soon as possible. Again, we are very sorry for all the inconvenience this causes, but it was beyond anyone's control," end quote. Saxon previously scrapped its March 16th concert in Rostock, apparently for the same reason. Saxon drummer Nigel Glocker added that in a separate message, quote, "It's a real blow. The gigs were going great, and we were having such a great time. Most important thing is for Biff to recover." And that's, end quote. And that's actually the main thing. It always sucks when, for whatever reason, this past winter there was a lot of bands that had shows that had to be canceled, because buses breaking down, getting stuck in the snow, this, that, and the other thing. So,
which is something we'll be talking about later.
Yeah. Yes, a little bit of foreshadowing there. So,
yeah.
But when it comes to somebody's health, we definitely want everybody to be healthy and to be recovered. Whatever you may or may not think about COVID-19, if you've had it, like we have, you've had it, I've had it. Obviously we both made it through.
I've had it twice. So.
Yeah, you've had it. Well, you're an overachiever, so
Yeah.
But
I had to make sure I'm immune to it from my own. So. do it right, man. I was like,
well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to half-ass anything, So, but so we want to make sure, obviously that everyone is healthy and recovered. So hopefully the fans on the stops that got canceled, they understand, and I'm sure, like I say, I'm sure Saxon will get back there as soon as they can. So.
I just want to give a quick shout out congratulations to a band I just seen on Wednesday, Nonpoint. Their song "Bullet with a Name" hit over 50 million streams this week.
Wow!
So yeah, that's pretty fucking awesome. I probably had a lot to.
You probably had about 10 million worth.
Well, I was going to say since that song was played almost in its entirety every weekend out there, or every show I wrestled at for the last 10 years of my career. So.
Yes.
And actually, most of those places did that. They went to a download source and just played it from there. So
I figure.
So I definitely contributed to this.
Yeah, I figured you're probably responsible for about 5% of those streams over the years, probably at least. By God, that's Mr. Impact's music. All right, let's.
I don't know if you want to cover something real quick, but I'm fixing to take a quick run and fixing to go talk to somebody real quick. Since we got a few minutes. So.
What's that?
Cover for a second.
Oh yeah. I'll start going through some of the tour dates.
Okay, cool,
yeah,
cool.
I'll start going ahead and doing that. Yeah. So Jason's gonna go schmooze with Ricky Rackman for a little bit and see if maybe he could be convinced to come by for a little bit and maybe make an appearance on the show, because he's actually not one of our scheduled guest today. I didn't even know he was going to be here today, so it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool when we saw him here yesterday when we came by to to set up the whole thing to get our table and everything set up for the show. So so it was kind of cool to see him, and we got a chance. Like I say, we got a chance to talk to him for a little bit yesterday while we were here. I mean, we didn't bother him. We didn't ask for autographs or pictures or anything like that, because he was here getting his whole setup put together and everything too. So, and still not 100% why, but he was walking around yesterday with his right arm in a sling, which he's not wearing today. He doesn't have the sling on today. So I guess maybe whatever he had going on wasn't super duper serious, or he's just dealing with pain tolerance today. But anyway, regardless, any of you guys who remember Headbangers Ball at all, you guys know Ricky Rackman. So it was kind of cool to get a chance to talk to him. But yeah, so Jason's going over there to talk to him to see if maybe he can be convinced to come on by and talk to us for a little bit. So while he's doing that, and since, like we said at the top of the show, some of this stuff we got going on, Jason had 3 weeks worth of Jason had 3 weeks of birthdays to go through. I've basically got 3 weeks worth of there we go. I basically have 3 weeks worth of the Hitting the Road segments due. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that while Jason is gone. So, in keeping with the kind of normal setup here, I'm going to start with the tour dates and tour news from over at the PRP.com. Like I say, some of this stuff you guys may have heard by now, because like I say, sitting on some of this stuff for going on 3 weeks now. So a little bit of it some of it may be dated. I took a little bit of a quick look at it this morning to see if there's any of this stuff, like some of these that may have already started. And fortunately, with the exception of I think one tour that started maybe 2-3 nights ago, I think basically everything is still kind of a month, 2-3 months out. So none of this stuff is really too dated. So anyway, leading off over at the PRP.com. Godsmack has decided to cancel their South American tour completely due to lack of ticket sales, so that's kind of unfortunate. We all know that Godsmack's new album that just came out is going to be their last studio album that they're putting out. They are going to keep touring, but for some reason they just couldn't get any traction in South America going this go around, so they just decided to scrap the whole tour. I did see a story earlier this week, I think it was, talking about where they were talking about their past tours over in Europe and how they were never really able to kind of make a whole lot of money over there in Europe. Who knows why? That's unfortunate. So yeah, the South American tour is off. Then the Postman Syndrome will be reuniting for their first live performance since 2005 on June 17th at the Crossroads in Garwood, New Jersey, with Nora and So Hideous as the openers. The Who has announced a summer European tour starting June 7th in Nickelsdorf, Austria at Nova Rock, and will finish July 22nd in Nordfjordeid, Norway at the Malakoff Festival. I hope I said that city right. No Pressure, Fleshwater, Koyo, and Illusion will be going out on tour starting May 18th in New York at Les Poissons Rouges, finishing June 5th in Santa Cruz, California at Vets Hall. They will be in Nashville May 28th at the end. Year of the Knife has been named to replace Vomit 4th on the upcoming Acacia Strain release shows. The reason for Vomit 4th bowing out of those shows is unknown. And as you guys can probably hear, over on the main stage, over on the other side of the hall, here we got Aaron Camaro. He's announcing a live guest over there on the main stage. So that's what you guys hear in the background. And like I say, there's a live stage over there. There's a live stage over there. A lot of stuff going on in here today. So like I say, there's probably, quite a bit of noise in the background. So let's see, where was I? The ongoing concept Bloodlines and Lightworker going out starting June 28th in Denver, Colorado at the King Room. Finishing July 5th in Salt Lake City at Kilby Court. No Nashville date on that tour. Tala and Teeth going out on maybe a quick 3-week run starting May 7th in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Bamboozle Festival. Finishing, May 27th in Columbus, Ohio at Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival. There's no Nashville date, but they will be in Knoxville at Open Chord on May 17th, and that will be Tala only, so Teeth will not be at that show. We have Mal and Countless Skies going to Europe and to the UK starting May 5th in Utrecht, Netherlands at De Helling, finishing May 21st in Copenhagen, Denmark at Rust. The final shows of Kiss's career will take place on December 1st and December 2nd at Madison Square Garden in New York. I'm going to put an asterisk by that because I don't care what they say. With Kiss, you never can tell. So we don't know for sure. I guess we'll find out. Then Behemoth is going to be going on a European tour starting June 4th in Plzeň, Czechia at Metal Fest, finishing July 2nd in Bologna, Italy at Return of the Gods Festival. Taproot will play the Machine Shop in Flint, Michigan on September 29th, their first club show in 6 years, to celebrate the release of their new album, Scissors. And I think a couple more shows have been added to, I think they're going to be playing a couple other dates at the Machine Shop in Flint. So I think I saw something earlier this week where there's now 3 shows on 3 separate nights at the Machine Shop in Flint. For those of you who don't know, Taproot is actually from Ann Arbor originally, which is where I'm from, up there in Michigan, about a half hour outside of Detroit. So that that'll kind of explain why they're going to be playing at the Machine Shop in Flint, because it'll be local to them. So congratulations to the new shows and the live shows, and congratulations on the new album. Look forward to hearing that. Spirit Box has announced 4 new European headlining dates with Envisions and Unprocessed. Those dates are going to be June 2nd in Milan, Italy at Alcatraz, June 20th in Munster, Germany at Skaters Palace, June 26th in Haarlem, Netherlands at Patronaat, and June 27th in Eindhoven, Netherlands at Effenaar. Five Finger Death Punch have added 4 dates to their summer European tour. Those new dates are May 21st in Esch-sur-Alzette, Luxembourg at Rock Hall, May 31st in Bratislava, Slovakia at the Nipela Arena, June 11th in Prague, Czechia at the O2 Arena, and June 13th in Bucharest, Romania at Metalhead. Seosin is going on a 20th anniversary tour with Astronoid starting May 3rd in Boston, Massachusetts at the Royale, finishing May 14th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade/Heaven. Not exactly sure what that means. I've never been to that venue, so I don't know what the setup is like. I don't know if Masquerade is the venue and Heaven is like the ballroom where the concert's going to be held. I'm not 100% sure how that's set up, but it will be in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade. There is no Nashville date on that tour. Capra has been named as the openers for the Killswitch Engage's April tour with Currents. Then Bloodywood, Vended, and Wargasm have announced a tour starting May 2nd in Seattle, Washington at El Corazon, finishing May 25th in Columbus, Ohio at the Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival. No Nashville date there. Flagman have announced a tour, and that one's actually coming up in less than a month. That one's starting soon. Starting April 14th in Orlando, Florida at Conduit, and will finish May 6th in Gainesville, Florida at Lucy's. They will be in Nashville at the Cobra on May 4th. Beartooth, Pierce the Veil, and Dayseeker will be going to Australia in July, starting July 22nd in Perth at Metro, finishing July 29th in Brisbane at the Fortitude Music Hall. Godflesh, Summerland, Stormkeep, Spectral Voice, and Street Tomb will play at the True Brewing Company's 11th anniversary party at the Gothic Theater in Englewood, Colorado on June 24th. So, anybody in Colorado or the local area out there, check that out. Biohazard will play at the Irving Plaza in New York on June 16th, 2023. The reunited lineup. And actually, now that I think about it, a second show has been added to New York City. Let's see. The first date that I just announced, that date right there on June 16th, is already sold out. So a second date on June 18th with the support act yet to be announced is going to be a matinee show at Irving Plaza. So 2 dates. First one is already sold out. Second one is going to be on June 18th, and the support act has yet to be decided. But like I said, that is the classic lineup of Billy Grisadier, Bobby Hamble, Evan Seinfeld, and Danny Schuler. So So that's kind of exciting. Happy for them there. Then Atreyu, Point North, and Within Destruction and Lilac. There's been a lot of bands here lately who have been like using V's in the place of U's and stuff like that. So it kind of throws me off a little bit. So I don't know if it's Lilac. I don't know how you pronounce it. So if I pronounce it wrong, I apologize to the band there. That tour is going to start April 27th in Sacramento, California at the Ace of Spades, finishing May 21st in Inglewood, Colorado at the aforementioned Gothic Theater. North Point will not be at the Gothic Theater show, and there is no no Point North, not North Point. And there's no Nashville date on that tour. Then we got Toxic Holocaust, Havoc, Hammerhead, and I Am going out starting July 7th in Denver, Colorado at Summit, finishing August 11th in Lincoln, Nebraska at the Royale. They will be in Nashville at the Basement East on July 29th. So that may be one show that I try to get to because I have yet to see Havoc on tour. Toxic Holocaust obviously is badass. So I don't really know much about Hammerhead and I Am, but I mean, I got time to do a little research there. So that'll be cool. Then we have Elder, Slomosa, and Steak going on a European and UK tour starting October 27th in Erfurt, Germany at Bandhaus, finishing November 18th in Berlin, Germany at Hole 44. Then we have Circle Jerks, Saul, Negative Approach, and Scowl going out starting July 14th in San Diego, California at the Observatory NP, finishing July 23rd in Tacoma, Washington at Punk in Drublic, which is a phenomenal venue name. I love it. No Nashville date there. Clutch, Dinosaur Jr., and Red Fang going out on tour starting July 21st in Washington, D.C. at the Anthem, finishing August 5th in Denver, Colorado at the Fillmore Auditorium. They will be in Nashville July 31st at the Ryman Auditorium. Then a favorite of ours here on the show, of course, you guys have heard us talk about them a lot. At least I do. Machine Head has announced another leg of their an evening with their Electric Happy Hour with Machine Head tour starting May 15th in Ventura, California at the Majestic Ventura Theater, finishing June 9th in Los Angeles, California at the Belasco. Unfortunately, this go-around, they will not be coming to Nashville. Of course, they were just here, so that kind of explains why. But they will be in Chattanooga at the Signal on May 24th. So for us, that'd be just a quick jog down I-24, so we'll kind of have to see how that goes. Avenged Sevenfold have announced 2 live June dates, basically on the heels of the announcement of their next studio album, which is coming out on June 2nd. Those, and obviously there will be more dates being announced, but for right now they have announced June 9th in Los Angeles, California at the Kia Forum featuring Falling in Reverse and Pussy Riot, and then all the way across the country on June 23rd in New York at Madison Square Garden featuring Falling in Reverse and Pussy Riot. So, and obviously, as more new dates are announced, I'm sure they're going to announce a full-fledged tour once the album comes out. So we'll obviously keep our eyes open for that and pass those tour dates along to you guys when those are announced. So obviously with a new album coming out on June 2nd, I have no doubt that a new tour is coming along. Probably a pretty extensive tour, considering that Avenged Sevenfold hasn't really done much here in the last little while, mainly because of COVID. So Morbid Angel, Revocation, and Crypta are going out on tour with Skeletal Remains and Vitriol appearing at select dates starting March 15th. Of course, so this is the one that's already started. This one, this tour started a few nights ago. The first tour date was March 15th in Pensacola, Florida at Vinyl, and will finish April 22nd in Fort Lauderdale at the Culture Room. There's no Nashville date, but they will be at the Concourse in Knoxville on April 18th. So there will be kind of a local date coming up here for them. So then what do we have? We have Bullet for My Valentine and From Ashes to New are going out starting May 18th in Daytona Beach, Florida at Welcome to Rockville, finishing May 28th in Detroit, Michigan at the Fillmore, Detroit. No Nashville date there. So. And as you guys can see, Jason has come back. So I'll get into more hitting the road here in a little while. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4. I still have 3 full pages plus remnants of another. So we're only about halfway through. So we definitely have more to get through. So
I'm like the greatest promoter of Metalheads Unite in the world. Ricky Ratman will be joining us at some point today. So
really?
yeah. So Ricky Ratman from Headbangers Ball will be with us at some point today. So, he's over on the big stage, I think right now, or about to go on the big stage, so he'll probably be in here in a little bit. So, but it cost me $80 because I had to buy 2 tickets to his show. But no, he's actually doing a little tour. We're going to have him come over and plug that and everything. Since Nashville is one of the dates on that, so Ricky Ratman for just a few minutes, I guess. Here, that's pretty cool. A little bit of our childhood comes up to the table. So. All right, so what we got? We got about another. Well, we got too much longer.
Yeah, we got about 5-6
we got about minutes until Martin Motnick is going to be by. So we look forward to definitely look forward to talking to him. The guys in the table, the guys in the KISS table next to us are starting to get very excited.
Oh yeah.
They've been they were quite boisterous while you were gone.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, and actually just passed Kevin Sullivan over the tables over there, man. Wrestling Kevin Sullivan.
No shit.
Taskmaster, yeah.
Oh shit.
He's over one of the tables over there.
That's very cool.
Him and Andrew Anderson, which was he actually played the promoter and the wrestler on the same set. Yeah, he's over there. So there's a lot of people. There's a lot of other people out here besides just Rock and Pod. So.
Yes, I mean it's not just podcasters. It's not just there's the you got the collectible and expo and stuff up there too. So a little bit of everything. What was while you were over there? Did you hear what it was that Aaron was announcing? I couldn't hear what he was announcing over there.
No, I didn't. Yeah, it was. Actually, it was Eddie Ojeda.
Okay.
Yeah, from Twisted Sisters over on the main stage right now. So.
Yeah, that was one of the guys we unfortunately.
Interview.
Yeah, we weren't able to for some reason we weren't able to get him on our itinerary today, which is unfortunate. But
I was hoping that I was trying to pick people that were involved in heavy metal so that we would kind of stick with the basis. But we do have a couple of people on here later that are more hard rock, but still, like I said, hard rock, heavy metal kind of, like I said, they tiptoe on the board. So
yeah,
very, very, very easily go one way or the other. So.
Yeah, that line does tend to get blurred sometimes, I mean, hell, there are hard rock bands, that will play an album or two that's a little more heavier than they normally would play, and vice versa, So, you get a little bit of a mix from time to time. So
right.
Which there's nothing wrong with that at all.
We're basically just kind of killing a little time. Like I said, we got about 3 minutes before Martin. Supposedly 3 minutes. We don't know how if he's backed up.
I know one thing. If this thing today has taught me anything, I need better headphones. I do. I need better headphones. I'm having a hard with all the background noise. I'm having a.
You guys are next.
I'm having a hard time hearing.
Good. Are you? So should we go there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything should be that mic should be working, and those headphones should be working. So.
Just camera shy.
Our next guest has arrived. We have Martin Motnick here from Accept. among other things. I mean, Accept isn't the only thing. He's definitely not the only thing he's done. I mean, he's got a resume just as long as both of our arms. So.
Well, good to be here.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate you taking the time out. We know you probably are going to be running laps around this thing all day. So.
You were there? Last night?
I said we appreciate you stopping by. We know you're probably going to be running laps around this place all day, so we're glad you were able to make some time for us.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, this is why we're here. I have a pretty bad delay in my ear, so I'm just gonna probably.
Yeah.
His is a little delayed.
Okay, so I'm gonna just put my headphones down and just listen to you live.
So if you don't know who,
that'd
Martin,
be fine.
Martin is the bass player for Accept. Definitely one of the bigger bands that around. If you've been around for metal for any length of time, you definitely know who Accept is.
Oh yeah.
So we appreciate you stopping in with us.
Yeah, there he is.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool on here. I was like looking at your some of the stuff that you do. It's like it actually says that you're a band leader of a jazz trio for Disney Cruises. That's kind of interesting to be a metal band and doing stuff for Disney Cruise. So how did that come about?
Well, I'm trying to be pretty flexible in my styles, the music that I play, and always try to be open-minded, and that kind of like came about. Well, it was kind of inspired by the girl I was dating at that time. She was a jazz singer, and of course, if you're like both into music, then you get the idea of hey, we should do something together, and that's how that. She also inspired me to buy an upright bass. I was kind of like always against having an upright bass because I felt like that was just too big of a hassle to transport it. But I couldn't really say no to her, and so that's how I came to that and started playing upright bass a little bit, and then just playing around, and then that job offer came up, and I was like, that sounds fun. Being on a cruise ship, cruising around the Caribbean, playing music, seeing different places, and so I did that for a while. And later then I actually started working for Carnival Cruise Line. That was more like rock. And I did have different themes. I have rock, Motown, jazz again, R&B, Latin stuff. Whatever people want to hear when they're on a cruise. And then did that for a solid 4 years and until I had enough of that. And I moved to Nashville, and then a month later I got the call from Wolf Hoffman if I want to stop by, because I had sent him an email. I had heard that Peter Baltus left the band, and I was like, well, why not give it a shot and just reach out and see if they need somebody. And it was like the coincidence that I had just moved to Nashville. Wolf has already been living in Nashville for 15 years or so. And
I didn't know he was living here.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
The band is based out of Nashville now.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Singer lives in New Jersey. We have Uwe on guitar. He's the only person who still lives in Germany. The rest is all in the Nashville area. And it was just right place, right time. I told him that I played with Uli John Roth, formerly of the Scorpions. I did 3 tours with him, and turns out that he's like one of Wolf's big influences. And that helped me. Being a German, playing with Uli, being local, that all kind of helped.
It's kind of crazy how all that stuff, it small world kind of thing comes together. How all that stuff gets interconnected like that all the time. I mean, we've had guests on the show before, and it's amazing when especially when someone who's been around, a long time. Like we just talked to. I just went blank. Anthony Fox. I'm sorry. I just completely went blank. We talked to Anthony Fox, talking about like the career he's had, the career you've had, and then Wolf's living in Nashville. You just moved to Nashville. It just so happened that he had an opening. You guys were living in the same city, so you reach out, and then he reaches back out. You get the invite. You get the and I'm assuming you had audition. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of hardly doubt you really needed to do a formal audition with with the resume you've got. So I mean, I don't know. So and then having a connection with his influence. So it's just weird how everything lines up and all the cards fall into place sometimes.
Right. As I said, it's definitely a right place, right time moment. And you're correct that it was more about the chemistry, how we get along, rather than the playing. He even told me that. It's like, I know you can play. I watched your video. I have a bunch of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you can play. It's really more like come over and see how we vibe, because that band, and really that band is like a family. It's we get along great. We hang out together when we're on the road. We have a good time. We go out on off days, and but that was more important to him, the human side of things rather than the playing. I mean, of course, he told me, okay, take these songs, learn these songs, and he gave me like a week for like 7 songs, and to also like test, okay, how fast can I learn them, how accurate am I, how do I perform them and stuff. So that's definitely, the music is important, but it is also, he knew we were going to spend a lot of time together on the road. I mean, right now we just came back being on the road for 2 months in Europe.
Right.
Basically around each other 24/7. You have to get along, and that's what he was scoping out as much as the playing. And that maybe because we're both from Germany, it's like we hit it off right away. It's like it felt like talking to somebody I've known for a long time.
So Accept's last album was a couple of years ago. So what's going on with maybe some future Accept music?
Well, we're definitely working on a new album. We signed a new contract with Napalm Records. I think by now it's like almost 2 years ago. And so they're, of course, waiting for new material. In the last years, we were busy with playing festivals, like kind of catching up with like the shows that we've been postponing. So we played 3 months long last summer, like all kinds of festivals all over Europe. And then we just came back from finally touring the album in Europe. We have some more dates coming up in South America in April. And but the summer is off, and we'll be focusing on making a new album. We're already in the middle of it. We're already bouncing ideas around. I know Wolf has some ideas. I'm scratching some things down. And so definitely there will be a new Accept album.
Nice. Yeah, so we're definitely fired up for that. We like the To Meet to Die was definitely a great album. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely in my collection. You did like a solo album back in 2021 called Dream Chaser. Are you planning on doing a follow-up to that as well?
Okay. Metallica.
I was asking, are you planning on doing a follow-up to Dream Chaser?
A follow-up? Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to. Sorry, the mics were kind of like bleeding into each other. A follow-up to Dream Chaser would be a great idea. It's if I was something, a solo album takes a lot of time, and the opportunity was there because of COVID, because we were sitting at home, and instead of like, I don't know, twiddling my thumbs or going crazy, that's when the idea came up. So, hey, I have some ideas written down already. Now would be the time to put them in shape. And I kind of wanted to go with the same concept of my first album, Bass Invader, which I've done in 2005. So let's see how much time passes in between. Where I had Greg Bissonette play the drums. And so I had the idea again to have drummers on, like, giving me the foundation of like the rest of the songs all played on bass guitars. But then this time I thought I could have a guest musician play a solo in each of the songs, and it was kind of like supposed to be like one of my musical heroes. And so reached out to Jennifer Batten, who I really admire from her time with Michael Jackson and Jeff Beck. Wolf, of course. Then I ended up getting in touch with Joe Satriani, and he was the good thing was like everybody was at home during COVID, and that was the opportunity to ask everybody and say, hey, let's are you available? And most of them were, and so that was really cool. And but now everybody's out there again, so then that's a problem with those albums is I always try to top the last one, and so now to come up with something that's like better than like this collaboration of my heroes. It's gonna be pretty difficult, but I'll think of something, and it shouldn't take another 15 years. So I should really do something.
Well, that'll be good.
That'd be awesome. So also says that you do some freelance bass playing around Nashville. Does that mean that you're just doing different, either with different bands or just showing up at the bars here in Nashville and jamming out, or what?
I have done that. I mean, especially right after I moved to Nashville, there were times where I played on Broadway, and which is a fantastic live scene, and that's a lot of fun to do that. I do studio stuff. I have my own website. It's called studiobassist.com, and people send me songs. And I just finished a song this week with Derek Sherinian, keyboard player for Sons of Apollo and Dream Theater. He was playing keyboards on it. Adma Anwar, drummer for Jason Becker, Joe Satriani, he played the drums on it. I played bass. So those are amazing projects that I have to do. But I'll play for basically everybody who contacts me and needs a bass track. They can contact me through the website or find me on social media, write me a message, and I always had the biggest admiration for studio musicians because they just come in and they just play everything. It doesn't matter what style it is. It doesn't matter what how difficult it just like a Steve Lukather. So it's a guy that I just always admired, and that's why I was always also so interested in so many different musical styles, because it's just what you have to be able to do, because you never know what they're going to put in front of you, and you want to be able to just make it sound like this is the only style you're playing. So that's why I have to keep my musical radar open, listen to new music all the time, try to stay with like what's hip, what's new, and I just enjoy playing on music from people all over the world thanks to the internet. I mean, that's just utilizing technology.
Is there any upcoming tour dates that you want to plug real quick, or are y'all kind of done touring for right now?
With Accept, we definitely have some shows coming up in South America in April. America, there are things in the works, but nothing set in stone yet, so I can't really say anything. But it's going to definitely happen again. It's probably. I mean, we're still trying to get back into the cycle, but there's going to be a new album, then the album's going to be toured, and then there's going to be festivals, and so we'll definitely be back on the road. A lot of people telling us, even within the band, they said this is such a great chemistry and such a tight-sounding band. It'd be a shame not to have that on stage. So I'm pretty sure we'll be out on the road again. We'll be posting about it heavily.
Well, I guess the good thing for us is we're kind of based out of this area too, so it's almost a guarantee that there's going to be a Tennessee date in there somewhere. So.
Right, you'll hear about it.
Oh yeah, well we definitely always keep our eyes open for new tour dates anyway. That's actually one of the segments we have on the show. So we're always making sure we're paying attention to. I mean, whether it's bands we know or bands we don't, because we do kind of pride ourselves on, kind of keeping track on up and coming bands the best we can. So, but we like to get the news out there for everybody the best we can. So we'll definitely get the dates out there, when they're nailed down. But yeah, totally understand, while things are being put into motion, why you wouldn't be able to say anything. That's totally understandable. You talked about everybody in the band being so close. You guys hang out together, outside, concert venues and stuff like that. Having been in, worked with other musicians and stuff like that, being in the band like this now and being so close and having the chemistry that you have, do you find that is a plus where, you don't feel like the show is over and you kind of have to go your own separate ways and, I'll see you guys again when we get back together for the next practice or the next show. So.
You mean is it an advantage or a disadvantage?
Yes, an advantage. Yeah. Do you think it's an advantage being so tight?
I think it is. I mean, I'm a person who likes to get along with people, and I don't really do well with conflict. And luckily it's not often been the situation where I was like in a band where I was like you really don't want to be around each other, but it's kind of awkward too when you're on stage and there's like this like tension and you try to avoid each other, but you're still supposed to be a unit on stage and come across as like you're having fun. So that's always something that I like when I heard stories from other bands and like putting down gaff tape lines on stage. You do not cross that line, and then this is my area, and stay away from me. I find that it's almost a little, I don't know, I'm going to eat my words later, but almost a little immature. That you really cannot talk this out, and you cannot leave this behind, because it's also, I mean, we're at work. I mean, it's a job too, and at some point you just have to put your ego aside, and it's like, okay, we're in this together for a common goal, and you just need to, but it definitely helps when you're friends.
Yeah, and I'm sure you don't want, and obviously you don't want the product to suffer either. So.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I know you got to like go around and do your other things. Is there anything you want to plug real quick before you take off, Martin?
Well, I definitely want to plug Metalheads Unite. That's the best podcast out there. And I actually wanted to touch up on that. That you said you also plug bands that are not as big, because I mean we all started small, and I also say that like podcast is the new radio. You are the guys who develop and discover new bands and bring it out and bring it to people's ears and people's awareness, and I'm really thankful for you guys doing that. I mean, you're just as passionate about your art as we are. You probably also all musicians, so you know how it feels, but the fact that you're doing that, I have the highest respect for you guys to do that. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Like I said, I feel like your resume is like way too long for a 15-minute interview. So hopefully,
exactly.
hopefully at some point, man, we can get you back on sometime and have a more extensive chat. Man.
I would love that. Let's do a long one, because also this is like. You can't really express everything, and it's busy, and it's like busy, and everybody walks by.
Yeah, it's almost like speed dating. It's like
it is. I'll date you again.
Okay.
Let's do a second date.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I know Martin's got to get to his next one, so I appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Like I said, we'll reach out to you guys, man. Love to have you guys on and talk about some.
Awesome. Stay metal.
I love this movie.
Thanks again, Mark. We appreciate it. You have a good rest of the day.
Sounds good too. See you around.
Yes, sir. Martin Motnick.
Martin Motnick, everybody.
Awesome guy.
Nice to meet you, man. Appreciate you.
He's a very laid back guy, but I love that about, especially with bigger bands, man. You always get this impression that you see like somebody like that. I mean, to me, like Accept is up there with Iron Maiden and guys like that. They're been around since the late '70s, man. So
yes, Scorpions.
Yeah, exactly. So to have somebody to be that humble, man, is just fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I have more respect for that than anything. Like he said, they all started out small and too. So.
Yeah, and he does bring up a good point. Obviously we're obviously we're a heavy metal podcast. We're biased and everything,
Right.
but he does bring up a really good point, of just playing as much music as you can play and playing it well. That way, if people want to hire you to do stuff, you have the ability to play it. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having the chops.
Exactly. Yeah.
Having the chops to play other stuff. So, and then because you get to have the career that he has. So I mean, we've got our little niche of things that we do, but for him to be able to play on a cruise ship and to they're back there. For him to be able to have a 4-year run on a cruise ship playing music and stuff like that, and then after that run to be able to come back and ultimately settle down here in Nashville and hook up with Wolf Hoffman of all people.
Right.
So I mean,
What's the odds of that?
Yeah, really. So I mean, definitely not too tough to take. Not that he fell into the gig with Accept. I mean, you don't. Somebody who has that much talent, and of course, having the familiarity of being German, just like the guys in Accept, Wolf Hoffman in particular, doesn't hurt. But hey, whatever works, man. You can't argue with it, and it's not that. Obviously his talent got him the job, but like he was telling us, Wolf knew of him. Wolf had seen him play on YouTube,
Right.
and just him being German, also helps. So who cares? Whatever works. Whatever works.
All right, man. So, yeah, we got Native Sons coming on next.
Native Sons in 20 minutes. So
Not a lot of time.
yeah, not too bad. Another band who is, they're not local, but
they're from Louisville, so not too far up. Not too far up the interstate here from us. So,
about 3.5 hours north of here. Well, not north of Nashville, but north of where we live. You get to Louisville about 3.5 hours. So you're going to talk 2 hours and 45 minutes, 2.5, depending on traffic from here. So not too bad. So I'm not exactly sure who is going to be joining us. It has.
We don't know who from the band because I think they're kind of splitting things up, and one person.
Yeah, they may be.
So, I mean, there's about 30 to 40 podcasts out here, so they have to get everything in. I'm sure they got to split up.
Yeah, so they may be doing a little bit of divide and conquer. So we'll have to see who kind of.
So this isn't a band we touch much on, but I want to share the story from Metal Injection. The case against Nickelback by Snowblind Revival songwriter Kirk Johnston over their 2006 hit Rockstar has been dismissed. According to a report by Billboard, U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman has ruled that there is no similarities between Nickelback's song and Snowblind Revival's 2001 song Rockstar, and there's no evidence that Nickelback ever heard the song. So, stated simply, they do not sound alike, wrote Pittman in his ruling, where both songs evoke similar themes. They are rendered dissimilar through the vivid detail of the original expression of Nickelback's lyrics. Pittman later said that the lawsuit borders on the absurd and that there's really nothing in common between the two songs aside from a few analogies and outlandish stereotypes and images associated with being a huge famous rock star. The original lawsuit, Johnston alleged Nickelback had access to his demo, which was submitted to Roadrunner Records' parent company, Universal Music Group, and Warner Music Group, and that Nickelback stole a substantial amount of the music in Rockstar. In 2021, Nickelback's response said the two songs sound nothing alike, and that Johnston failed to identify any specific lyrical similarities between the works at issue. He could only conceivably point to the titles of the two works and lyrical themes, and that the two songs aren't even written in the same style, and that none of the melodies even match up. Nickelback also called Johnston out on providing no detail about his meetings with record labels and the Snowblind Revival demo, adding Johnston failed to give the names of the record label representatives with whom he allegedly met, where the meetings took place, or even when the meetings took place. So, And let's be real, these two songs have nothing in common aside from they're both named Rockstar and Rockstar, which one's compounded and one isn't. So, sure, they deal with the same general topic, but imagine if lyrical concepts could only be used by one artist. Rock music would have been out of business decades ago, which I kind of agree with that. I mean, there's going to be similarities. I mean, it's rock and metal. I mean, you're gonna have your drug theme, your sex theme. It's just going to happen. So, it's kind of ridiculous to even like I think the judge said it best. It's kind of an absurd lawsuit. So, like I said, we don't cover Nickelback a lot, but I thought that was worth mentioning because that's one of their bigger songs, and somebody was just trying to reap the rewards off somebody else's success. So.
Yeah. I figured it was probably just because the song had the same damn title. Oh, man, must have got that shit from me. It's like, do you realize?
Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I muted my mic. I muted my mic for a second so you wouldn't have so much echo in your damn headphones because these guys to our left are getting a little rambunctious. But I mean, eventually, there's gonna be song titles that are the same. There's going to be song titles that are the same. There's going to be, album titles that are the same. I mean, and I mean, there's been a couple of times on the show where I don't know if you remember a couple months ago, we had that album cover.
Yeah,
the album art or whatever.
I mean, that was a blatant though.
Dude, those. I mean, when it's an example like that, when you can put the two side by side and you can see, okay, look, this is the exact same thing. They just, they tweaked a couple things to try to make it their own. But I mean, when there's a huge burden of proof. There's a huge burden of proof when it. Eyes on your own paper, Chief. I'm kidding. But there's a.
Well, I can't see the comments, man.
Well, there haven't been any other than Ace said she liked the banner, but that's all.
Cool.
That's all that's been. So,
hey,
which by the way,
look.
Jesus Christ, those are bright.
If you can't tell, Aaron Camaro just walked by again. So.
Golly, man. But no. There's a huge burden of proof to try, and I can't think of any off the top of my head where it's been proven that somebody plagiarized somebody else's song. Not to say that it hasn't been done, but some of you guys out there listening, you guys may know of one right off the top of your head, but I can't think of one. I could probably do some research and find a couple of instances of where that's been done. But that's the thing is you have to prove that it happened, and you have to prove that they fucking did it on purpose.
Right.
That's the thing is you have to. It's not just that the songs sound alike, and hell, maybe even some of the lyrics are similar. And like even in the story you just read, the judge did say that the two songs evoked kind of the same emotion, but that in and of itself doesn't mean anything because that's just his opinion.
Right.
He listened to the two songs and he kind of was like, well, they kind of give me the same vibe, sure, but that's not grounds for saying that Nickelback copied the song. And even if the songs were similar, you still have to prove that Nickelback did it on purpose.
Right, exactly.
That's damn near impossible. That's going to be damn near impossible.
Yeah.
Of course, because all day Chad Kroeger can say, "No, I never even heard the song."
Right. Yeah.
Because then it just becomes a bunch of he said, or they said.
It's a bunch of he said, she said bullshit.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, it'd be the burden of proof. It's ridiculous. But then again, at the same time, the band that brought the lawsuit against Nickelback probably drove a little bit of traffic to their own website, social media, to their music. Like, all right, we need to hear this song that Nickelback supposedly ripped off. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I guess it's just one of those things where we kind of created a little bit of. We kind of made a little bit of noise, but we made a little bit of noise getting attention on ourselves. So who knows if maybe that maybe who knows if maybe that wasn't the ultimate goal anyway. You know, all right, we know that we're probably not going to win this lawsuit. I mean, the odds of us winning this lawsuit are really, really low.
Yeah.
But it'll end up in the news that we're trying. People will listen to the song, and maybe
Exactly.
it'll. So
Exactly. That's probably exactly what happens.
I figure that's probably mainly what they were trying to do. Just get our name out there somehow.
Right.
Get our name out there on the backs of Nickelback indirectly, you know. So. That's the thing is, I mean,
Get on the back of Nickelbacks.
right? I know the backs of Nickelback. I know, but you know, so who knows? I'm sure it probably. I mean, I'm sure it didn't hurt.
Right.
They probably saw a little bit of a jump in traffic to their socials and stuff like that, you know. So who knows?
They might have got another 0.007 cents from Spotify or something. Well, yeah. I got this little story I come across over at Metal Injection. What are the psychotherapy sessions and why is Mudvayne teasing them for Tuesday, March 21st? Nobody knows, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Of course, the guess here is that there might be new Mudvayne music coming for the first time since 2009, but maybe it's a tour. We don't know. Mudvayne reunited in 2021 and has generally done festival dates thus far, though they did just wrap up a tour with Rob Zombie late August, so I guess we'll keep you guys informed what the happenings are there, but that would be pretty cool. Either way would be pretty cool. Either a tour announcement or a new musical announcement.
Good.
Yeah,
Sinzak from Chris Sinzak from West He actually, we probably give him props real quick. He's actually kind of puts this stuff together, man.
yeah. Oh man, this.
And he obviously looks like he hadn't had like 2 hours of sleep in 10 days.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this thing.
I'm sure it's exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the attendance is here right now, but I mean, there's.
It's a pretty heavy traffic. So I mean.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few hundred people here, no doubt, easy.
Oh yeah.
There's probably
not counting the podcasters.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about people who are actually here attending this thing. I mean, I'd say it's probably pushing 1,000 people in here right now.
Yeah, all together, yeah.
I would say easy. Of course, a lot of people are over there by the main stage catching everything going on the main stage right now. But that only makes sense because I don't know. I can't tell what's going on over there right now, but I don't know if Eddie Ojeda is still over there right now or not. I can't really.
I think so. I think he's still over there talking. I still see Ricky, so Ricky hasn't went over there yet. So kind of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to hit Ricky up after the mob interview, actually.
Yeah. So I can't exactly tell what they got going on right now. So.
Well, no, maybe I may try to hit him up after Native Sons. We have like an hour. Almost an hour between those two.
Yeah, it looks like
50 minutes.
55 minutes.
Yeah.
55 minutes.
I may try to get him in that 55 minute span.
Yeah. Because I mean, he doesn't have to come by for long. I mean, he doesn't.
No, he even said he's like he even told me he's like, hey, well, I bought your tickets, man. I'll be over in a minute. So he's like, we got to support each other. So and I like that. But I mean, we're talking Ricky Rackman. They probably don't need any much of my support, but for him to agree to come over here and talk to us is pretty fun.
Yeah, after Native Sons, I may have to take a pit stop myself. So we'll have to grab lunch at some point too.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, once the radio side kind of dies down, we can kind of cut off and then re-stream or something.
Yeah,
30 minutes or something. So.
Yeah, well, and a lot of the afternoon interviews are going to be recorded for rebroadcast anyways.
Right. So, and plus, like 2 o'clock hits, we're kind of pretty steady with interviews anyway. So.
Yeah, a little more steady.
Yeah, so we're talking like 15 minutes in between 20 minutes. Yeah, about 20 minutes in between each one then. So
yeah,
and then like from 3:20 on to 5:15, it's kind of like bam, bam, bam. So
yeah, so it's going to be the afternoon's going to be a little more rapid fire for sure. Yeah,
So again, if anybody on the radio side, just want to remind you guys that you can go on to Spotify here in like a week or so. I'll try to get all that together and edit it down to where we just get the interview parts. So I'll try to get all that together, and I'll probably just combine it all. Just kind of do it as one show, so it'll be like maybe 2 hours. I think that's what we kind of figured out. About 2 hours.
2 hours, 10 minutes so far.
Yeah, something like that. What I'm talking about for the rest of the things, I think we figured that out. It was about 2 hours, so we'll edit that, stick it all together, and throw it on Spotify. That way, you guys want to listen to it or watch it later or anything, you can do that there. Or on our YouTube. We'll have it on our YouTube as well.
I don't know if you noticed, but there was a gentleman who stopped by the table. Okay, yeah, that looks like that was the end of the Eddie Ojeda interview.
Yeah, yep.
Got a little bit of "We're Not Gonna Take It" playing in the background over there.
Going over there.
Yeah, my wife just said she's going over there. She don't
Yeah, there you go. But while
Show
we were
him your
talking,
boobs and get him to come over here.
hey,
But you can't.
yeah. Well, like I was saying, I don't know if you noticed, like while we were talking to Martin, there was a gentleman who stopped by the table, and I was talking to him for a second. And I feel bad because it was this gentleman right here. Tom Zutot. He was like, you don't know who I am, do you? I'm sorry, I don't. And I mean, I feel bad, but I mean, I can't know everybody, right? We can't know everybody. But yeah, Tom Zutot, who was, according to him, of course, I have no reason not to believe him. But according to him, was responsible for discovering like Guns N' Roses and Metallica. So he, former Motley Crue A&R exec Tom Zutot. So Motley Crue A&R legend. So apparently he lived in Chattanooga for a little while. So yeah, he stopped by the table for a second. I hope his feelings weren't. I honestly hope his feelings weren't hurt that I didn't know who he was. Like I say, I can't know everybody.
Well, that's the thing about music. That's why I try to put those birthday people in there sometimes. Because a lot of times we don't know the producers, like guitar techs and shit. We don't know those guys because they're not the face of the product. So I mean, you can't really be upset about that unless you're Mutt Lane, because we grew up with guys like that. So unless you're him, we probably don't know much about music producers. So I mean, we're actually learning stuff today, like Anthony Fox, Martin Monding, all of them are doing, have their own little companies where they're producing. And they, we didn't know that. We just knew them as the basis for, we knew Martin for the basis for himself. We just knew Anthony Fox for the basis for music creatures. So amazing, man. So we didn't really know that they did all this stuff. So it was cool to kind of get them on, kind of explain, other things they do outside of just their front end bands. So.
Yeah, so I mean, I heard.
Something they're announcing. Oh, it might be Ricky's. Yeah, I think Ricky's up there next. So.
I hope he's not coming over here right now.
That's kind of what he told me. He said, "Yeah, as soon as I'm done with my little spiel up here, I'll come over and talk with you guys." So hopefully we can get him in the hour that we're having between Native Sons and Bob and Chip Harden. So. But just so radio side, just so you know, we can cut off after Native Sons, which we probably will. We are talking with Bob Chiappardi, Jack Gibson, Brett Carlisle, Drew Fortier, Jason McMasters, Matt Nice, Lydia's Castle, which is a local band here, and Rick Rule from Every Mother's Nightmare. So we got a lot of big time guests coming up after this. So don't miss out and go to our YouTube, go to our Facebook or whatever. You can still listen to it live there too if you want to. You can just leave it playing and just listen if you want to. So if you want to listen to it later, like I said, we will be uploading those interviews to Spotify at a later date. So we're going to cut a stream after probably Native Sons and then re-stream back probably. So that way we're not sitting here with an hour wasted.
No.
I mean, we still got a little content we can share, but I'm just saying, we got to take a lunch break and all that good stuff too. So better just do that in that hour than have it. Because like I said, we're going to be back to back this afternoon. So but we will still be streaming, live on our socials and all that stuff. So don't think you will miss out on anything. We'll have all that there. So.
Yeah, I need new headphones.
So 2 minutes. We should be talking to Native Sons here. So. I don't know who we'll be talking to from Native Sons.
Might be the only woman that's not plastic here.
Probably. She said she might be the only woman who's not plastic here.
Oh. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with the Native Sons, they are out of Kentucky. So they're a hard rock band. So kind of reminded me of the Cult a little bit. So if you're big fans of the Cult, then if you want to check out their stuff, that's probably right up your alley. So I like the Cult, Fire Woman, the Sonic Temple album was a great album. So. All right. So we just kind of
So should be any second now.
Yeah.
Should be. Like I say, still not 100% sure which member of the group we're getting. So.
And I'm not real familiar with them face-wise, so don't. Hopefully, they don't hate me for not knowing.
I know. Same thing. I know. Same thing. I do really feel it. It's like, oh.
Well, I mean, it's not like they got a 20-year career like our first two people. Like we pretty much recognized when they walked up. So.
Right.
We only had 15 minutes of FaceTime with Anthony Fox, but you probably got about 30 minutes worth of talking from him because we were live the whole time when he was talking. So.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the fun. Because Anthony, he was standing right there.
He was standing there.
Yeah, he was standing there at the table, like a few minutes before his interview started, and was like, "Do you want to just sit down?"
Well, sit on down. Let's do 30 minutes, brother.
Well, I mean, and the A&R, the rep. Hey, well, the rep came. The rep. Do we need to get another chair? Hang on. Let's get another chair. Hang on just a second.
All right, so we are here with Louisville's own Native Sons. So who we got with us? I'm sorry, I'm not real familiar with the name. So
I'm Ashton Blake. JT Shea.
All right.
Ashton and JT.
I'm sorry, I had to I'm sorry.
I'm JT Shea. And I'm Ashton Blake.
JT and Ashton are here with us.
All right, so Native Sons, like I said, from out of Louisville. So it says here you guys just started out kind of like a recording project and just kind of blew up, right?
Yeah. We've been a band for about 3 years now, but the new record kind of showcases what we're bringing out in 2023 and moving on into 2023.
You guys just had an album drop, right?
Yeah, yesterday. We did like a CD release. We did like a CD release at Bowie's here in Nashville. With a few more bands that ended up supporting us, Blackwater Down and Sonora. There's some really good friends of ours, and they helped make it a very successful release.
Yeah, cool, man. I actually listened to that album yesterday. Good stuff.
Thank you.
I was telling him, like, it kind of reminded me of the Cult, the old Cult.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
Sonic 2,
Yeah.
Firewolf.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome shit. I dug it, man. It seemed like I remember you guys, when you first kind of came out, like, Metalheads Unite, kind of pushed you guys a little bit. And, like, I'm in purpose since this. I'm not sure what it is. One or two months. To me, it's a rock station sometimes.
Yeah, man. Like that's the way it goes. Like we're on several podcasts and internet radios across the country, and we're on some FM stations in Europe and in the UK as well. But we kind of just been in the studio touring around as much as we can. So that's kind of what we've been up to in the last few years.
So what was kind of like, I brought up the Cult, but kind of what was some of your guys' kind of influences in music?
I don't know. You go first.
Oh man. Well, I would say Tom Petty is a big influence of mine. I guess just lyrically, he had a lot of, he had a very good way of, drawing people into songs. And I would say that, I guess more metal is like Dio. I liked his delivery on stuff. Ozzy, of course, all the classic stuff. But with Tom Petty and like the folk rock music and kind of like the soft rock music has kind of been a staple for me, which is kind of odd. I've been a heavy metal man, So.
Yeah, I would say for this album, I guess where I'm kind of coming from is like a lot of the 70s, like Zeppelin, AC/DC, but trying to make it a little more modern sounding. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. So,
I know you guys can't be good. Do you guys find it, because I mean, you're not old, of course, but do you guys find it that people kind of like look at you like a little strange when you're trying to, being at the age that you are, because like I say, you're not old, but I mean, you're trying to keep that sound alive, because we're in our 40s, so that sound that you guys are trying to keep alive, do you guys ever getting like, really, that's the kind of sound you guys went with, being at the age that you are, kind of people wondering where the influence came for you guys, being that you are younger, so.
Well, I'd say that rock and roll is always rock and roll. You're not too old to rock. You're not too young to rock as well. So it's like
right.
That's kind of. So I wouldn't say that like the sound isn't dated as far as like a lot of people say, well, 80s hair metal or your 70s. It's all just rock. So I feel like the fans of rock and roll haven't left. So obviously we're here, and there's tons of people here. There's tons of bands here. You guys are interviewing us, so rock isn't dead. It's just not in the mainstream of things with the money people. It's like, and soon it will be.
It's coming back. There's a lot of you ask if like people look at us funny or whatever, like because we're playing this like rock and roll music, and I feel like that used to be the case. But recently, not so much. I think it's getting to be more and more common for people our age to be into rock and roll.
And that's actually a good thing. It's like we built Metalheads Unite as a face for the people that are trying to up and come the music.
Yep.
Like I said, we always say we can go out and I'm not saying I can go out and get Metallica, but we've heard it before.
Yeah.
We've heard all these stories, so it's we go around like, hey, these bands need to be out there. People get hear this. That's kind of what we face this around. A lot of bands, we try to push them out and make them areas of the world too. We're all something here there.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, they love music, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like most of our fans are from over there. It's like it's kind of strange. I think we need to be doing a European tour. We've been offered some people recently. We haven't been able to tour over there yet. We've kind of been trying to, conquer the U.S., but I think my goal for 2024 is definitely to go over to the UK. We've already been asked by several people to go over there by some entertainment agencies to go over there as well. So I've kind of been entertaining the idea, but it's all a numbers game in the end. It's like, is it feasible? How much money do we have to save up to make it worth our while? So it's definitely within the works.
Yeah.
Maybe the Suns get one, right?
Yep.
That's right. Man, we had a bus, or we had a van that we rolled around in. We rode that thing till the tires fell off, man. Like my mechanic was like, dude, you cannot take this on the road. The front bar that holds the tire on was like cracked in half. So he was like,
no.
if you hit a pothole, it's gonna just, the tire's gone, like right down the road.
So seeing over here, like you guys shared the stage with some big names, like Doc, George Lynch from Doc and stuff like that. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
How-
man.
how is that? So I guess like is that kind of intimidating as a band younger to kind of like be on stage with somebody that's been around for decades?
It can be a little bit, but I don't know. It's not.
It's definitely,
it's
definitely a memory that you're going
It's an honor to get to share the stage with people like that. So it can be a little intimidating, but I mean, it's a lot of fun.
I mean, I think that's how you like you build your character.
Absolutely.
I was in entertainment business at one time. It's kind of like when you got in there with somebody who was experienced, you kind of looked at it as this is my job. And this is like, oh my God, that's what I'm doing. So, hey, I'm still playing, regardless of who's out there. I'm still going to jam out. So,
Yeah, I think playing with these guys like George Lynch and Ron Keel and stuff like that is really cool because you end up becoming friends with some of them, and it's almost like when you play with them again, it's like family reunion. You know, it's like old friends getting together. So that's kind of the way it is for me. It is I wouldn't say it's as intimidating as it is inspiring,
right,
as a musician to know what they've done.
That's a good way to put it.
So it looks like you guys are. You got another show here tonight too, as well.
No, we're just doing this. Okay.
I just noticed it's the 17th and 18th. You guys are doing some
now the Ron Keel is actually putting on Keel Fest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we actually had something last night at Bowie's. That was a CD release that we did. Yeah.
So are y'all involved in the Keel Fest?
No, we're just kind of going and supporting some friends. Yeah, I actually met Ron Keel. It's kind of interesting story. And we were supposed to play this big festival, and the stage got destroyed by rain. And the dude, the owner, was like, "Man, y'all want to still play?" He was like, "Yeah, man, we still want to play." And Ron was like, "Yeah, still people came to play." So we ended up setting up, like pallets, and we played for like 200 people that showed up because it was a biker fest. So there were supposed to be thousands there, but like there was campers and stuff. So I ended up becoming friends with Ron, and that's not one of the cool stories I have.
No, I think I've already asked everything we wanted to ask.
So is there anything, I know you guys kind of like make it around, so you won't be out the crowd on this. Is there like anything you want to plug as far as upcoming shows or anything like that? Or your website about the album?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the main thing right now is the new album. It just dropped yesterday. We want everyone to go stream it, listen to it, share it with all your friends.
Yeah, we'll definitely share that over on our page as well, our socials. It's definitely a great album.
Yeah, thank you.
Like I said, I got like, even though I'm metal hard, I still kind of have that. I have that special place for that music from the 80s.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah.
I feel like there's something you can take away from every band. You know, it's like, there's some of them better than others. You know, of course. You know, I would definitely throw on, I guess Diamond Head or something like that before Lady Gaga. I guess. You know, probably wouldn't ever catch me listening to Lady Gaga. I sift through channels and I can't get fast enough away from stuff like that. But as far as like streaming our album, you can find us at nativesonsrocks.com. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook. We've got some music videos out. You can check those out. You can stream us on Spotify as well.
So have you guys got any more upcoming live shows you already got booked?
Yeah, we've got a few shows this summer. We're not really doing anything until probably about June 2nd. We're going to be at the Cobra here in Nashville, and then we're going to be all over the United States. We just got done playing the Whiskey A Go Go. We ended up headlining that. That was pretty cool. Really nice experience there. We're going to be doing some festivals. We're going to headline some festivals. So, you know, we're going to.
Let's bring that up. You guys being from Louisville, I was going to ask you if you ever got a chance to play like that.
No, but I think it might be in the cards for us probably in 2025, maybe. I'm hoping. You know, it's always growing, and I think that you know, Danny Wimmer is kind of realizing that, you know, Louisville people want to see their original bands on that festival. So he actually did create a local stage this past year, which one of my friends ended up playing, which was really cool. And they were kind of a heavier band too. So.
Yeah, like I said, we're all about these new bands. Like I said, we just stuff like, oh, well, who's this band? We're like, hell, it's 40 years. We don't know about them. I mean, other people don't. You know?
Yeah, man, it's new to you.
I mean, we played this rap one to push that out. Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee,
yeah.
Hey man, we appreciate you. I know you got to go here back to this.
That's it.
I really
You
appreciate
have like a website where people can merch and stuff like that?
NativeSonsRocks.com, where you can find us. You know, everything that's on there, bands in town. We have all the widgets and stuff that you can click to stream our music, find our shows, and buy our merchandise. So everything is we're very fan driven. So everything you buy goes back into touring and putting out records and doing what we do. So you know, the more people buy stuff, the more we climb the ladder. I guess. Yeah, man. That's,
we don't agree with that.
Unfortunately, it's a necessary evil, and if it's justified, I'll do it. But sometimes if they're like, you know, I want 50%, I'm like, nah, I just won't sit at my table. You know, it's like
Like I said, like, you know, like our bands talk about it here and say, well, if you're gonna do that, why can't I get a food at that bar?
yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, they're probably making most of their money there either.
Yep.
Hey, JT and Ashley, appreciate it, man. Native Sons, check out that new album. Just came out, Shadow Man.
Yep.
I'll stream that out. Check out all the other Native Sons. Yeah, real thing, man, I'd love to have you guys on the key. We can have a little longer talk.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, please do. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you too.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. JT, Ashley, Native Sons.
Do you guys have a card?
Do you have a card?
I don't have a card with me, no.
We'll follow you too if you can.
Webpage, so I want to promote you guys.
What's up?
You just interviewed Ashton, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to promote you guys on the website because I do your website.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed the interview.
No, it's cool. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, pretty cool, man. Like I said, Native Sons just dropped that new album. Check that out.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're always here to promote that, especially, you know, Louisville's not far away, so kind of consider that local. So, they're just handing me a card, so hopefully we'll talk to those guys. I get them back on and have a conversation. Like I said, that's the main reason I wanted to do this, was kind of get in with some of these guys and see if we can't do something, you know, more extent, you know, going down the road.
Yeah, that new album, like I say, dropped yesterday.
Y'all got 45 minutes. Do y'all want to take a break?
Our producer is telling us we need to take a break.
We got 20 minutes left on the radio side, so I mean, we can wait wait till that and cut it.
Yeah, we could do that. We could wait until radio.co kind of goes off the air, and then after that we have a little bit more control over what we're doing here. So yeah, we could do that. That'd be fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea here. So all right, so I made sure to highlight where I left off. So all right, we have Zhao picking up over at the PRP.com with the Hitting on the Road segment here. We have Zhao, Body Void, Mouth for War, and God Collider going on the tour of the West Coast, starting June 8th in San Diego, California at Brick by Brick, finishing June 18th in North Hollywood, California at the Knitting Factory. Then we have My Children, My Bride, No Cure, and Your Spirit Dies with Mugshot and Extortionist appearing at select dates, starting May 19th in Evansville, Indiana at Damsel's Brew Pub, finishing June 18th in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Brickyard Bar and Grill, a venue that Jason and I know well. That is the only Tennessee date. They will not be coming to Nashville. We have Death Before Dishonor going on a 20th anniversary tour for their album True Till Death with Hold My Own and Exit Strategy on the bill. Starting April 15th in Richmond, Virginia at Powers. Hold My Own will not be at that show. Finishing up April 23rd in Toledo, Ohio at the Ottawa Tavern. There's no Nashville date, but they will be in Chattanooga on April 21st at Shadowland. Make Them Suffer is going on a tour of Australia for their 10th anniversary with Fit for an Autopsy and Ocean Sleeper. That tour starts May 25th in Brisbane at the Princess Theatre and finishes June 10th in Darwin at Terror Loud 2. That's Make Them Suffer only. So, Unearth Upon a Burning Body and 156 Silence will be going out starting May 4th in Lubbock, Texas at Jake's Backroom, finishing May 19th in Rochester, New York at the Montage Music Hall. No Nashville date there. Then Full of Hell and Primitive Man are going to Europe and to the UK starting June 16th in Clisson, France at the Hellfest Open Air, finishing July 2nd in Emmen, Netherlands at Pitfest. Primitive Man only on that one. Converge, Brutus, and Frail Body are going out starting May 18th in Daytona Beach, Florida at Welcome to Rockville. No Frail Body at that show. And then we'll finish on May 26th in Columbus, Ohio at Sonic Temple. No Frail Body at that show either. There will be a Nashville date May 22nd at the Basement East. Then we have Yob, Cave-In, and Paul Bearer going out starting May 21st in Vancouver, British Columbia at the Modified Ghost Festival. Finishing June 24th in Oakland, California at 3rd and Castro. There's no Nashville date, but they will be in Murfreesboro at Hop Springs on June 3rd. Man, I hope that doesn't start. Then we have Currents, like Moths to Flames and Foreign Hands, going out with Invent, Animate, and Unity, Texas showing up at select dates. Starting May 11th in Worcester, Mass. at the Palladium, finishing June 10th in Granby, Quebec at the Festival au Lac Granby, Currents only at that show. Nashville date will be June 4th at Eastside Bowl. The Callous Dow Boys and Hazing Over are going out starting May 5th in Knoxville, Tennessee at Carnes Community Center, and they will finish on May 5th in Nashville at the end. Born of Osiris, Ocean's 8 Alaska, and Pale Dusk are going to the UK this summer for a few dates. Those dates are going to be June 30th in Exeter, UK at Phoenix. Pale Dusk will not be at that show. July 1st in London at the Underworld. July 2nd in Newark, UK at the UK Tech Fest. That's Born of Osiris only. And July 3rd in Bristol, UK at Thekla. Scowl, Pest Control, and Out of Love are going to the UK starting April 26th in Sheffield, England at Yellow Arch. Finishing on May 3rd in Bristol, England at the Exchange. The Halo Effect, Unearth, and High Command are going out. Starting May 20th in Hartford, Connecticut at the Webster. Finishing May 28th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Milwaukee Metal Fest. No Nashville date for that tour. Falling in Reverse, Ice Nine Kills, Under Oath, Spirit Box, Slaughter to Prevail, Crown the Empire, and Catch Your Breath are going out on tour starting June 26th in Charleston, West Virginia at the Charleston Coliseum. Finishing July 30th in Reading, California at the Reading Civic Lawn. No Nashville date there. And I know what some of you guys might be thinking. Spirit Box dropped off that tour, and you would be correct. But when I put these dates together, at the time they were still on the tour, but they have since dropped off the tour apparently because of the backlash due to some of Ronnie Radke's past shenanigans that seem to be catching up to him. So, rightly or wrongly, whatever. But that seems to be the fallout from that. So, Caskets and See You Space Cowboy have been announced as openers for We Came as Romans Spring European and UK Tour. Those dates were previously announced here on the show, so I'm not going to go back over those. The Used, Pierce the Veil, and Don Bracco are going out with Death by Romy and Girlfriends showing up at select dates. That tour starts May 23rd in Austin, Texas at the HEB Center at Cedar Park, finishing July 2nd in Phoenix, Arizona at the Arizona Financial Theater. They will be in Nashville at the Nashville Municipal Auditorium on May 31st. Between the Buried and Me, Thank You Scientists, and Rivers of Nile are going out starting June 16th in Charleston, South Carolina at Music Farm, finishing July 31st in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at the Ram Cat. They will be in Nashville at Brooklyn Bowl on July 26th. Then this is one I'd like to see, but unfortunately isn't coming anywhere near us. Megadeth, Bullet for My Valentine, and Oni going out starting April 26th in Everett, Washington at the Angel of the Winds Arena, finishing May 15th in Halifax, Nova Scotia at the Scotiabank Center. Like I said, no Nashville date on this tour. Exhumed is going to be going to Australia starting July 14th in Brisbane at Bad Luck Bar, finishing July 23rd in Frankston, Australia at the Singing Bird. Funeral for a Friend is going on a 20th anniversary tour of their Casually Dressed and in Deep Conversation album with Dashboard Confessional to the UK, starting October 7th in Manchester, England at the O2 Victoria Warehouse, finishing October 14th in London, England at the Roundhouse. 1,000 Below and Until I Wake are going on a July tour, starting July 11th in Springfield, Missouri at the Riff, finishing July 23rd in Lubbock, Texas at Jake's. No Nashville date for that tour. And finally, moving over to Blabbermouth, Steve Harris's British Lion is going on a European tour starting May 27th in Ljubljana, Slovenia at Svetlikarna. I hope I said that right. Finishing July 30th in Munich, Germany at the Backstage Hall. Main Skin is going out starting September 3rd in Hanover, Germany at Expo Plaza, finishing December 19th in Manchester, England at the AO Arena. They will be at the Nashville Municipal Auditorium in Nashville on October 3rd. Delane and Visions of Atlantis will be going out in September, starting September 9th in Atlanta at the Prague Power USA, finishing September 24th in Los Angeles at 1720. No Nashville date there. Exciter is going on a 40th anniversary European tour of their Heavy Metal Maniac album. That tour will consist of Artillery, Screamer, and Bloodstar. That tour is going to start May 19th in Athens, Greece at the Up the Hammers Festival and finish June 3rd in London, England at The Dome. Death Clock is going to be appearing at this year's Blue Ridge Rock Festival and Aftershock Festival, so that's pretty fucking cool. Kiss and Skid Row are going on a European tour starting June 12th in Amsterdam, Netherlands at the Ziggo Dome. They will be in Brussels, Belgium at Palais 12 on June 13th, Lyon, France at the Hall Tony Garnier on June 27th, Tuscany, Italy at Lucca Festival on June 29th, Mannheim, Germany at the SAP Arena on July 1st, and Cologne, Germany at the Lanxess Arena on July 2nd. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Big is going out on a tour of Japan starting July 20th in Nagoya, Japan at the Nagoya Shimin Kaikan, finishing August 12th in Kemayoran, Japan at the 90s Festival. So, having said all that, that is the Hit on the Road segment for February 25th through February 17th.
Did we cover the Louder Than Life announcement?
The entire festival? I don't believe we did.
Okay.
So we can do that if you'd like.
So actually, the lineup for that and the lineup for Aftershock has been released. The lineup for 2023 Louder Than Life on Thursday, you have the Foo Fighters, Weezer, Rancid, 311, Cody and Cambria, Royal Blood, Code Orange, White Reaper, Death Even, Bleednuts, Into Nowhere, a lot of bands there. Bounced on me. And Friday, we have Tool, Godsmack, Limp Bizkit, Megadeth, 42, Dance Killing Dance, Bad Omens, Wage War, Avatar, Fever 333, Kitty, Ender Shakari, Miss May I, Fame on Fire, And actually, Tala's going to be there. That's interesting. I've never seen them on the festival thing in a while. So, Saturday is going to be the big night. You have a Vince Sevenfold, Pantera, following the Verge, Kirsten Vale, Parkway Drive, Baby Metal, Alexandria, Death Clock. Yes, Death Clock. So we have a festival also there at Blue Ridge. So, but I'm not covering that yet because they haven't fully announced their full lineup yet. So once they do, I'll cover Blue Ridge. Also on Saturday, you got the Who, MD Affliction, Memphis Mayfire, Suicide Silence, Sleep Token, Whitechapel, Gideon, which just released an album yesterday, and it's pretty badass. So check that out too as well. Dragged Under, Afterlife, Another Day Dawns, Devil's Out, and then I'll pop up to add that Hate, so right in the middle of my shit. Anyway, and then finally on Sunday, you have Green Day, Queens of the Stone Age, Turnstile, Flogging Molly, Interrupters, AWOL Nation, Rebel Sons. More of a laid back day on Sunday. UB6, Census Fail, Bagger Boys extended out. Nothing.
Huh?
I get nothing for that joke, man. What the hell?
Dude, I'm having a hard time hearing you, man. I'm really having a hard time hearing in these headphones all this background noise.
Gotcha. So that is the lineup. Kind of a little bit for, of course, what's his name?
Yeah, see what Aftershock's got going on.
Yeah, Jose Mad Genie is actually hosting that one. If he shows up, he didn't show up last time. He was supposed to host something, so which kind of got me disrespecting the guy.
He didn't show up?
No, he actually canceled on Blue Ridge. Like he was supposed to host it last year when we were there, and canceled on him. Said he had another opportunity. I'm like, dude, you don't do that, man. You took a fucking booking, man. What the hell? Anyway, that's his business. So whatever. Just saying, Metalheads Unite would have represented that motherfucker. I'm just saying. Aftershock has also been released.
I'm glad a lot of these. Festival bills are finally getting released in their entirety because I see them when I'm putting the information together for the Hit the Road segment, and I hesitate to like. All right, here's like 2 or 3 more bands that have been announced, and then here's 2 or 3 more. So I don't like to talk about the festivals until we can talk about the lineup in full, you know.
Right.
So I'm glad a lot of these lineups have been solidified finally.
And of course, the Aftershock is in Discovery Park in Sacramento, California, October 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th this year. It's the first week of October, which we will probably be at Metal Devastation Festival that week. So anyway. Thursday night, Incubus, Avenged Sevenfold, Turnstile, The Cult. We just talked about the Cult earlier. AFI, Pennywise, Nothing But Thieves, White Reaper. White Reaper is going to all these festivals, dude, like crazy. Census Fail, Don Blanco, Bronx, Nothing Nowhere. And we have Friday we have Godsmack, Tool, Limp Bizkit, Megadeth, Cody, and Cambria, Skillet, Bad Omens, The Who, Death Heathen, Memphis Mayfire, Converge, Fire from the Gods, Polaris, Rain City Drive, Gideon, of course, here they are again, Currents, Burials, Dragged Under, Tala, as well. Of course, we got Saturday with Pantera, Corn, 311, 42, Parkway Drive, Baby Metal, Death Clock, Avatar, Future 233, Escape the Fate, Fame on Fire. And of course, on Sunday we have Queens of the Stone Age, Guns N' Roses, Rancid, Dance Daltrey, Bad Flower, Mayday Paradise, Silence Movements, Aaron Jones, Union 6, Society.
Sorry?
Can I be on your podcast?
Yeah, that's pretty much the line up there at Aftershock. So, yeah, there's two festivals releasing. So there you go. And of course, unless you live on the Rock, you probably know Avenged Sevenfold just released a new song. So check that out as well. So we have about 8 minutes left here. You gotta ask him.
Because he took a sticker and he's like, "Can I be on your podcast?" So I told her, I was like, "I hope that is going to be on there."
I'm like, yeah, it's not scheduled, brother. I hate to tell you no.
Right. I mean,
there's only one unscheduled that we're going to have, and hopefully,
you know what I might have to do for the rest of these interviews. I may have to do this right here and just talk into this damn thing. I might have to. I cannot hear shit.
I had some extra headphones in the All right.
Pisses me off. It still pisses me off that my microphone is missing. I don't know what the hell happened to my microphone.
Anyway, that is those line upstairs. Festival goers, there's that one. Like I said, Blue Ridge should be finishing up there soon. They've been announcing a lot of their last meetings and bands and their stuff. So, and actually, they have a whole contest going on where you can actually pick an artist within reason. They have one contest going on where a fan can pick an artist to actually be on the band. So, see how that works out. So, anyway, so we got about 5 minutes up on the radio side. We actually talked to Anthony Fox earlier. That was our first interview. We talked to Mark Motley and then we just got through talking with Naked Sons.
Yep. Ashton and JT.
So we appreciate all those guys for joining us on the first little bit of this thing. We still got about 8 more interviews to go. So
yeah.
It's still going to be a long afternoon. So
definitely a lot more interviews than I thought we were going to have. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, but I didn't expect when we sent in our interview request list that we were going to get so many.
Right. Well, I mean, you always send a bulked up list because you know it's going to get cut down. So.
Right. But that's the funny thing is we got most of the list.
Yeah, we did.
We got most of the, with the exception of like Eddie Ojeda, we got most of the list.
Yeah, and then what was the other guy that Don?
Oh yeah, Don Jameson. Yeah, he was on the list too. But of course, I guarantee you, Don Jameson probably had a super duper full. He probably had a super full day too, because I mean because Don Jameson, I mean he was on that metal show, but he's actually like a stand-up comedian, so that doesn't surprise me that he probably had so full of a day. That just we were just one of the ones that just unfortunately just didn't make the cut. So, but it is what it is.
Yeah, plus the main stage over there, I think they're doing like 45-minute interviews.
Right. Yeah, they're kind of going through and doing like the whole spiel kind of deal thing. So yeah, his day was full. Eddie Ojeda's day was full. So I mean, it's understandable. Can you hear me okay with me doing this?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Good.
How about now? Put the microphone in my goddamn mouth.
But yeah, so we're like I said, we're going to take a little break here in just a minute because we got another interview starting up at 1:20. So we're going to take a break right now. I'm trying to grab the light before we get into that. So like I said, we got a pretty much stacked meal after that. So I don't think we'll have another chance to grab anything if we don't do it now. I don't want to be eating on camera. So I don't think anybody else wants to see it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that ASMR stuff on TikTok, but we're not going to do that on where people like chew into the microphone and stuff like that. All that shit, But we're not going to do that here at the Metalheads Unite podcast. We're not going to do any of that ASMR stuff. So you want any of that? Go to YouTube or TikTok. There's plenty of that stuff over there.
I do want to point this out. We're going to start putting some stuff on our Patreon account. So if you want to check that out, these are the new 4-inch round stickers I just got in. They're going to be $3 on there. If you want to check us out, message us on any of our socials. So you can get one of those. We can work something out in the meantime until I get that up and running. And also, the shirts we're wearing right now are more shirts from last year. It has all the places where we interviewed the bands from last year. So. all those are on the back there, so we are going to put those on there for sale as well. They're going to be probably bigger orders, so you have to shoot us some size and all that info. We'll take a payment and we'll ship it out to you. So, a couple of merch items that we've got finally. So.
Yep. The cool thing is like with the World Tour shirts, the world came to us. So
exactly. Yeah, we didn't go there. They came to us.
It was kind of nice. I mean, maybe one day it'll be the opposite. Maybe we can kind of like,
And that would be nice, just
Yeah.
to travel and interview
Yeah.
these bands in their house or something.
yeah,
That'd be
kind of
fucking
go
awesome.
have them show us around the cities and
Yeah.
stuff like that. 'Cause,
Hell yeah.
especially with some of the bands from Sweden. I've always wanted to go
hell
to
yeah.
I've always wanted to go to Scandinavia. It's a fucking beautiful part of the world.
Norway, like those places.
Yeah.
Netherlands.
Norway, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, just Scandinavia in general. I've seen some beautiful pictures of that part of the world.
But anyway, we're going to take this time to take a break. I know the radio's about to run out in like 2 minutes. So for anybody on the radio, like I said, you want to catch anything, we're still going to be live on our YouTube and our socials. After a little break, we'll be live constantly until the end of the day until like 5:30. So if you want to catch any of that on that side and want to miss the interviews, you can log into there and listen that way. Like I said, if not, then we're going to be uploading the latter part of the day separately on Spotify and stuff like that on later dates. So we'll have this first part on there, like our normal show, and then we'll do the second half. That's what we're going to cut, go break, and come back. So that way, I know when we cut, I can download and edit all the rest of the day. So, yeah, we still got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, we do.
Bob Chip Hardy,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, like you said, 8 more interviews.
We got Brett Carlisle, we got Jack Gibson from Exodus. Sorry. We already talked to Exodus.
Yeah, we talked about it.
So that's like one of the big ones. And then, of course, we got Brett Carlisle from Great White live show. So we got Drew, Jason Masters from Baker's Toys, Talk Louder podcast. We got Matt Bates and Miss Castle, local band here in Nashville. We got everyone's Blackberry rounding out the day. So if you want to hear any of that, feel free to tune in this afternoon. We will be doing those lives. So for everybody else for right now, radio side anyway, keep those horns up high, jump in the pit anytime you can. Hopefully we'll see you back next week with our numbers. Kind of do a recap of everything this week. So get back into our normal stream of things next week. So. Anybody on the radio side are all welcome to join us on any of our other live feeds. So we'll be back here in about 15, 20 minutes. So,
Yep, thank you. Yep, we will definitely be back with part 2 of the day. So everybody stick around. We'll be right back after a word from these sponsors.
Yeah.
If we had sponsors.
If we had any,
we need to get sponsors.
Yeah, we need to get sponsors.
All right, guys, we'll see you shortly.
Yep, have a good one.